All right, welcome to Unintentionally Offensive. I am Andrew, and my character trait is disappointment.
I'm Eric, and we're gonna talk about sentient buttholes tonight.
I'm Caden. I promised I wouldn't talk about cum on this episode.
I'm gonna bleep that out.
You can't bleep out cum.
I will bleep it out. I will bleep it out. That
You
instance.
you have to bleep out cum because it's the first minute.
Oh, fuck.
I'm gonna cut some of this out. But what are we actually gonna talk about today?
Alright, Alright. Eric, do you have anything, or can I go on my tangent real fast?
I am gonna talk about sentient buttholes because I was at work yesterday and we brought it up. Well, I brought up sentient buttholes, and a lot of funny stuff came from that conversation. And I'm gonna be playing Sonic Adventure 2, and we're gonna be like going over how this game's shit, but it's also good for its time.
It's
Sonic
the
Adventure
room
2
of video games.
Listen, Sonic Adventure 2...
This is Adventure
that
1.
Oh, that's 1? Well, then never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. I thought you...
This one was also made before you were born, you PPS little baby boy.
I'm an adult. Legally.
Okay,
Which is why you need to stop fucking kids.
I don't... So... Anyway, I've been seeing these things on YouTube recently, on YouTube Shorts, and it's this dude who reviews, like, death row meals. And, you know, I hadn't really thought about death row meals in a while. Ever, really. I don't really think about death row, because I don't plan on going. I'm not Andrew. But, you know...
I will get a stay of execution because I will not be able to decide what I want for my last meal.
No, they have a fun fact. Ted Bundy was like, "Oh, I don't want I don't know what to pick for my last meal." They have a standard like meal. It's steak, green beans, hash browns. Like it's very basic. But isn't death row last meal kind of fucked up?
It is, but I think what's more fucked up is like there was a Ted Bundy like biographic like a long time ago that was like kind of graphic, and like when they were going to execute him, they show like the part where they stuff like a whole bunch of cotton in his ass by force, and then they put a diaper on him. And
They did
yeah,
that?
yeah, because
Why'd they do that to him?
because when you kill somebody, they shit usually, and you know.
Yeah, like every muscle in their body just kind of relaxes and all that comes out.
Well, Ted Bundy, if I remember correctly, did he get the electric chair?
Yes.
So yeah, like on the electric chair specifically, like
Fun fact, Ride the Lightning was written about him.
Really?
Yeah, I like Ride the Lightning as an album too. We can talk about that as well, but all of the muscles contracting like that. Yeah, it makes you shit a lot, and like nobody. So like it's basically I don't want to clean that up. I'm already gonna get rid of a body. Like I don't want to clean up any more than that.
Yeah. That's fair.
But Ride the Lightning, how I interpret it, I listen to the whole album like in order because like when I hear Ride the Lightning, it sounds like a story to me. Like an actual like
a concept
cohesive.
album.
Yeah, like it's a cohesive story about a prisoner that's on death row that escapes and gets captured, and I don't remember because it's been a long time, but they may or may not kill themselves.
It's like Tommy Hammerhead or whatever, the one Max Hammers, whatever.
Maxwell Silverhammer.
Yeah, him. It's like that kind of. But
I like that we're talking about Metallica with the fucking butt rock opening of Sonic Adventure.
No, that's muted. I've got you muted.
Oh, god damn
it. You know what's really good?
Right now I'm not even showing Sonic, so...
You know what song goes really hard from Sonic?
Which,
like Sonic? What's the fucking Shadow the Hedgehog theme that has no right to go as hard as it does?
Most of the Crush 40 stuff is in that category.
It's Crush 40. It's Crush 40, but I don't... It's like the theme song of Shadow the Hedgehog. It's...
Or Shadow the Hedgehog the game, or Shadow the Hedgehog from Adventure 2.
The game.
I don't remember.
It's something like really badass.
Look, Shadow has the tribal tattoo. In the opening for that, he's riding a motorcycle and he cocks a fucking
MP5 like a shotgun.
Like a shotgun. Like, that game's
I am
cool.
all of me. It's I am all of me.
That game's meant to show you that things are edgy and cool because things are edgy and cool. But, you know, like...
Actually, that was actually my favorite Capcom game.
When you... no.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Sonic the Hedgehog is Sega. Has always been Sega.
No, it's always been Sega.
It's always been
Capcom.
Sega.
Listen,
no, Capcom makes Silent Hill.
You can't talk shit about fucking Dreamcast and not know Sega. Sorry,
no, listen, I know
can't
Sega.
let you.
I'm just saying, I know Sega. It's just I only know 2 Japanese companies, Capcom and Konami. Fuck Capcom, fuck Konami.
I would like Konami if they would stop taking their good properties and making gambling machines, and that's it with them.
I would like Konami if they didn't fuck over Hideo Kojima.
They should have let him stop making Metal Gear when he wanted to stop making Metal Gear. Can we not talk about Metal Gear this episode?
That's the solution to Metal Gear, is letting him finish it too, like he originally wanted to. Like, a lot of the issues that happened with Hideo Kojima were because, like, he was forced to continue something he didn't want to do. Which is why, like, Metal Gear Solid 5... This is the last we're going to talk about Metal Gear for a long time.
Until next episode.
But the reason why Metal Gear, like, went over budget and stuff is, like, a lot of people, like, have said that Kojima was spending that on the Silent Hills trailers and the development for that. So, like, Kojima kind of did a bad thing, and there's a reason why, like, Konami kind of shafted him, but I don't think they should have taken his name off the game.
Yeah.
And they also probably should have let the game be finished, because dude had delivered multiple times, and despite the game not being finished, it still sold very, very well and won multiple Game of the Year awards.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Alright,
like Kojima.
This is going to be officially the last of Metal Gear for a bit. I was digging through my PS2 games. Last time I mentioned I had Sons of Liberty. I must have done this in, like, a blind, like, what's the thing, like, enlightenment moment when I went into this video game store to buy Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. I apparently bought Metal Gear Solid 3 as well, so I have, not Naked Snake, but Snake Eater.
Yeah, Snake Eater.
Naked Snake is the snake in Snake Eater.
He's the main character, yeah.
He is Big Boss. Or he becomes Big Boss, if you want to get technical.
Yeah.
If you want to be a pedantic asshole about it.
I ended up buying that however long ago, and I totally forgot about it. Which, you know, you think I wouldn't forget something that, like, I can't say that word because, jizz-inducing.
Man, all my friends are fucking losers.
Right, well, anyway,
just because you're right doesn't mean you have to say it on the internet.
You're a fucking loser too, Eric. Anyway.
Well, yes, I have sex with your mom. I am a fucking loser. Like, I'm fucking a loser, but no. Like, I don't know, bro.
Anyway, back to my original topic, which was about Death Row and not Metal Gear. I don't know how we got here.
The hive mind understands.
Because the dude, like, there was this dude they were talking about. It's like, yeah, he broke into this lady's house and shot her in the face and murdered her two, like, young girls. And I'm like, and we as taxpayers just allowed this motherfucker to have all the KFC he wanted because he murdered people? Why is that cool? Why is that fair? Government doesn't pay for my meals.
I think George Carlin had the right idea about Death Row. If you've ever heard that stand-up bit that he did.
I've heard a lot of George Carlin.
I've heard a lot of George Carlin.
It's classic. I can't do the bit justice, but he basically said turn Death Row into like a not a game show, but like, you know, bring back the guillotine and have people in the audience bet on, like, they'll cut the guy's head off and it'll drop into like a plinko machine and have people bet on which bucket it'll land in.
That's actually a really good idea, though.
People used to just watch executions publicly too, like all the time. That was like the weekly goings on.
Well, I mean, that was before the internet, and
yeah,
even after the internet came out, there were, you could stumble upon a beheading video.
Yeah, like the thing is, when it comes to those execution things, is like
stumble on beheading.
It takes a lot to accidentally stumble across one now, though.
It's like in a small
Pornhub
Wild
has
West town,
all of them. What do you
What?
mean? Man, nobody gets my blowjob joke, and I hate it.
Anyway, Wild West, right? Like, what the fuck were people doing, like, most of the day? It's like, yeah, I gotta watch the sheep, but at 3:45, they're gonna go execute that feller that robbed the bank, so I'm gonna see that, because that's cool. Like, that's all they could fuck hookers and watch people die. That's all they could do in the Wild West. They didn't have Duke Nukem.
Speaking of Duke Nukem, we are not going to talk about Duke Nukem forever.
God damn it.
No,
But Duke Nukem is forever.
Anyways, they are remastering 1, 2, and like all the console versions.
Why not forever?
All the console versions of...
Like the console exclusive ones, like Time to Kill.
No way, they're remastering Time to Kill.
Yeah, let me pull up the article.
Because Time to Kill was the game that introduced me to Stabbing Westward, one of those unfortunate 90s bands that made good music for 3 albums. Their 3rd album didn't do so well, so they got sold to another record company, and then that record company said, yeah, it's the year 1999 to 2002, and that Nickelback band sure is popular. I know that you've been sounding...
You remind me...
I know that you have your sound and everything, but we just bought you, so you're gonna sound like Nickelback.
Okay, so they are remaking... There's 2 collections that they're remastering. The first one is Duke Nukem 1, 2, and 3. And then the second one is Duke Nukem Time to Kill, Land of the Babes, and Duke Nukem Advance.
That's cool. I would argue that they should, like, if they're gonna go that far, they should really look at the N64 ones too, because those ones were interesting.
I would say just not Duke Nukem 64, because that was just a censored version of Duke Nukem 3D. That didn't have all the... It didn't have all the levels either.
Specifically the one where...
3 as
I think 0 Hour is the one you're thinking about.
Yeah, where he time travels and, like, he wears a fucking duster coat on top of his regular fit, which goes hard as fuck.
Yeah, like, I would love to have that remastered, because I never had a chance to play it. Like, a lot of the console exclusive ones, I didn't get a chance to play.
Time to Kill was cool. I liked Time to Kill playing that one growing up. Well, watching my brother play it, I should say, because older brother hogged console.
As it happens.
It kind of always... I was always the older brother, so I was always the one hogging the console for my sister. But it was also mine. She had a DS. She can fuck off. But... In fact, it was my DS, and she snapped it in half.
Oh, are you gonna cry that the DS servers are being shut down? Because I proposed to Andrew, like, should we start this bit off with us just sniveling and crying? They're shutting 3DS servers down in the Wii U! The Wii U servers, guys! Everyone played the Wii U!
Wait. They're shutting down the Wii U servers?
Yes, and the 3DS servers.
No, it's really funny though, speaking of Nintendo and whatnot, because you said Duke Nukem 64 got censored on the Nintendo 64.
Yes.
Or it was the censored version. Mortal Kombat 3 on the 64, I think it was Mortal Kombat 3.
3 was on the Super Nintendo.
It might have been the Super Nintendo. Either way, it got censored. It's really funny to me what Nintendo will and will not censor, because it's like, oh, let's censor Mortal Kombat. And, like, you know, for the time, yeah, it was gory as shit. Playing the new one, it's nothing. You know,
what I liked about a lot of the censorship efforts for Mortal Kombat, a lot of it was they just made the blood green
Or gray.
or gray.
Yeah, they either made it a different color or they turned it into, in quotes, sweat.
I'm gonna say the no word. They in anime in China when they make the blood white and it looks like cum.
Yeah, no, they exactly did that, but it was like green cum. But
was it
it's
angry
really
cum?
funny. It's really funny that they'll like censor Mortal Kombat because it's too violent, and then they'll have a game like Conker's Bad Fur Day where a flower with huge tits gets fucked by a bee.
To be fair, nobody knew, like, at the time what Conker's Bad Fur Day was or was going to be. Like, there's a...
You would think the Nintendo people who... Because they have to play through the game to give it the rating. The ESRB
No,
has to
that
play
is
through the game to
incorrect.
give
They
it the
do not
rating.
have to play through the whole game.
They don't play... so they don't play through the whole... So
No,
they...
I think they only play through like an hour or so of the game.
So if they played through an hour of Conker's Bad Fur Day and it was fine...
Keep in mind...
like,
well, I'll
like,
let you
This
finish
this
your
is
thought.
this was back in like the Nintendo 64 days where, you know,
Yeah.
gaming wasn't
They
like
do it-
the be all end all
Yeah.
entertainment thing.
Do they do stuff like that nowadays? Because, like, think about it. Like, say that there's a game where the ASRB only plays, like, an hour or so of it, but, like, the, what's the right word here? But, like, it gets, like, a T rating, but, like, halfway through the game, there's, like, a fucking extended sex scene with, like, dick and, like, tits out, like, but the ASRB didn't see that. Like,
I
how do we get the
feel
LMPD?
that
Somebody
San
wouldn't
Andreas
say
kind
that.
of ruined that for us.
Yeah,
Right,
San
right.
Andreas happened, but, like, again, I'll also let you think about this, too. Keep in mind that this was Rare that made that game that Nintendo all but owned, and, like, it's kind of a shame they didn't just buy Rare. They really should have. But, you know, these are the people that made Donkey Kong Country, Perfect
Banjo-Kazooie.
Dark, Banjo-Kazooie. They made all these
Perfect
games
Dark
for
was rated M,
Nintendo.
though.
Yeah, but, like, again, like, Perfect Dark doesn't have any...
NC.
Perfect
Yeah, it
Dark
doesn't have, like,
any
sex,
content.
nudity, drugs. It's just, like,
So,
It's just
murder.
generic violence that's got
By
it.
the-
It shows blood. Like, it showed...
It might even be rated T, in all honesty.
I think it's
but
rated
by
M.
the time that, by the time Conker's Bad Fur Day, like, had come out, Rare had established itself as a golden child that could do nothing wrong with Nintendo, so they probably weren't being supervised.
Right.
Most likely, like, they had basically done the impossible and made a bunch of games that didn't have a single miss in it. Like,
And yes,
you know,
Perfect
so-
Dark was rated M.
Yeah. There's, but, like, still, there's that one game that's really funny to me. It's a game where you play as a pencil, and you have to get through a level
Wild
by
Woody.
drawing
Wild Woody.
Wild Woody. And there's an Easter... I'm sure you already know where
Yes,
I'm going.
I know what you're
There's an
talking
Easter
about.
egg with mermaid titties, and that game is rated E. And obviously that slipped past because, like, it's... I think you have to do, like, an absurdist amount of, like, Resident Evil, like...
It's
third playthrough
crazy.
bullshit
It's
to
crazy
see titties.
hidden.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like
Nobody's
is like-
completing Wild Woody either.
fair,
Nobody's playing Wild Woody that long.
unless they want to see them titties.
Hey man, like I remember being 14 years old and like pixelated stuff did it for me, but I'm an adult and like 4K
I'm an
resolution's
adult.
nice. 4K
was the,
resolution's nice.
All right, here's a fun topic. What was the like first video game you guys ever jerked off to, if any?
I can't remember. It's a lot. There was
Andrew?
a lot. I was a very horny fucking teenager. I
Andrew?
was a very horny teenager.
I honestly can't think of one.
I'm the only one that can think of one, because I remember.
It
I
was
can
probably
think
like
of,
2 days ago.
I can think of
I
earlier
said the first
ones.
video game you jerked off to.
I can remember earlier ones, but I don't know if I can think of my first one. Like, obviously, everyone thought Lara Croft was hot.
True.
Duh.
But nobody
But,
was gonna
like-
jerk off to the video game where she had triangle tits.
You'd
It
be
was
surprised.
1997, dude. Like, you gotta really think. Like, TVs were putting out like 480p resolution. Like, them triangle
was okay.
tits were as good.
Playboy
Them
still was a
triangle
thing.
titties were as good as anything they had ever seen.
Yeah, you just go
on
to a gas
regular
station and
TV.
they were right there. They're just hidden
The first
behind
game-
other magazines.
Stupid kid, the titties are on your mom's chest. You could have been beaten off to that.
Oh, disgusting. The first game I ever beat off to was Mortal Kombat 9. Now I know that sounds bad. You got to remember how sexed up the female characters were with their outfits in that game, though. It was never like, oh, dude, this fatality's hot. I beat my like. I don't get off the ISIS execution videos, okay?
I like
Yes.
that I'm getting this story with the Sonic Adventure 1 song playing.
It's gonna be a very they're gonna get fucking whiplash from like listening to what we're talking about and watching fucking Sonic intro.
Yeah, they're watching the Sonic intro and they're just like hearing like, so yeah, there was like a feature in Mortal Kombat where you could look at the character models and if you pressed X it would show damage, and so like a lot of the females like almost nipple, and I would beat my dick to that. Just Sonic running around. Gotta go fast, chili dogs.
I remember when they made Judy Nails from Guitar Hero a slut in 3, and that did it for me. But that is what it is.
Guitar Hero 3 came out.
Guitar Hero 3. I gotta look up what year that came out.
To be fair, I thought she was more attractive in 2.
Again, like, that was just, like, at the time that, like...
Guitar Hero 3 came out 2007.
Yeah,
So I would have
7?
been 2007, so I would have been 3.
I would have been 12. Yeah, I would have been...
Fair.
Yeah, I would have been... Yeah, I would have been 12. So, yeah. Early bloomer in the jerking off department.
Well, I started, let's see, Mortal Kombat 9 was 2011. If I was, how old would I have been in 2011? 9, maybe?
Yeah, but did you jerk off the year that it came out? Or was that a couple years after the fact?
I got Mortal Kombat 9 on launch. Like, I was very
you
excited.
weren't fucking yizzing at 9 years old. Get the fuck out of here.
I might have been.
I was yizzing, bro. Hey, you can't be mad at me, Andrew. I didn't say come. Don't fuck kids, by the way.
Yeah, you know, we made
Okay.
about, like, listen.
I have a personal objective for you guys next episode. Don't talk about Metal Gear and don't talk about cum.
Do I get money if I don't do it?
I will not send you a bill.
You're actively killing this channel right now. I hope you know that. Audience, we need to vote Andrew off the island because he's trying to take cum out of the channel. He's gonna kill the channel. You know what to do, audience. Come on him.
Oh, no. That's sexual assault, and that is not cool. That is not okay.
No good.
Sexual assault is only cool if it's on someone you don't like. For legal reasons.
There are people that believe that. We shouldn't just be saying that. People.
It's a joke, audience. Look.
But there are legitimately people that are like, yeah, that person's a rapist. They should be raped too. Like, no.
It's not how you solve problems.
Rape cannot fix rape.
Only murder can.
Can we get off that subject? Please.
A bit much for YouTube.
I'm pretty sure we have to bleep out the R word too.
It'll be fine. We're not making money off of this anyway.
It's just fair. We're never gonna make money. Unless you, you know, that fucking purse bag that your mom carries around, that's got a card on it, it's got some numbers, and you're just, what you're gonna do is, you're gonna get that
Eric, you're not doing it right. Eric, you're not doing it right. Alright, kiddies. Fortnite Ninja needs your help. You see that credit card in your mom's purse? I need her social security, the 3 digits on the back. What else do we need, Eric, for Fortnite Ninja to get saved from... What's a popular, like, game right now? Five Nights at Freddy's?
Send us your mother's bank account number.
Give us the routing number.
No,
know how
like
to
we.
spell routing.
No, we need the bank
We'll
account
give
number.
you V-Bucks.
We need the bank account number. We need the routing number. We need your mother's maiden name.
We're gonna be rich.
I hate that I'm heating something up right now, and I want to start playing Sonic because I'm really sick of the same 3 intros that this game's doing.
By all means, start Sonic so we have something to talk about that's not something.
It's not stealing money from children. Or
That's
Fortnite Ninja.
yeah.
Fortnite
Let's
Ninja.
go ahead and start the game so we can talk about something that's not questionably legal.
Listen, I can't wait for
heating
like
something
our
up.
first. I can't wait for our first sponsorship where, I don't want to say their name because that's free sponsorship, but the stereotypical like you know that you get what I'm doing with that.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait for them to like send us an email and then like once we're like yeah we'll do it immediate regret. Like the second we agree, like someone's getting fired at their headquarters.
Please sponsor me, Raid Shadow Legends.
No, don't say their fucking name.
I'll believe it.
Sponsor Raid Shadow Legends. I'm really poor right now.
I'm poor too.
I will take their
so
money.
Poor.
Listen,
I'm
will
so
take
poor that
anyone's
I'm
money.
working extra shifts, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford to fix my vehicle when it breaks. Please send me money, Raid.
Listen, I am so unbelievably poor. Can you hear my fucking bag of combos? That's I'm
I'm so poor that I look for used condoms in the trash can to fuck.
That's awful.
They don't all fit right, and some of them have holes. And my dick really itches right now. So, Raid, if you could just give us a little bit of money, that'd be really cool. I would
Hey, Mr.
never
Beast.
say a bad thing about Raid if they got me to stop using the used condoms.
Listen, Mr. Beast. I know you're a rich guy. If you're listening, I need just a small marginal loan of $250,000. Please and
I
thank
gotta
you.
tell you something cringy that I did. Speaking of Mr. Beast, like this week, he
What
posted.
did you do?
He posted on Twitter about the room. Would you spend 3 months in a room with a stranger if you both got like 500K? But if one of you left, like nobody got the money. I commented on it.
What'd you say?
I begged
Please
for money.
do this to me.
I begged for money. What do you mean?
I commented on it. Oh, what'd you say? I was asking for handouts.
I was like, yo, dude, put me in there for twice as long. Give me twice as much money.
Well, like what other than you can't leave? Like, is there any other like caveat? Like, is there like no electricity or some shit like that, or is it just
No,
stranger in the room?
It's like, yeah, stranger
I think
in the
it's
room, but the room
stranger.
is also like the room is also like it's like a padded cell, but like it has enough items in it to where you're not gonna go crazy in those 3 months.
It's got
Probably.
food, it's got a private bathroom, so there's a place to beat off, which is good.
No, that would suck though, because like imagine like you're in that room with like the random stranger, and the dude's just like, yeah, man, I gotta go use the bathroom. I'll be back, and all you hear from the bathroom is.
And honestly, I'm a lonely person, and like if I got sitting there and there was just a girl there, like I mean, I'm lonely.
Sorry, you can't record this anymore.
Yeah,
Well,
because
here's
like
the
there
problem
were
with that, Eric.
cameras in that room, so
If you're flirting with this girl, right, and she's not receptive to it, she's gonna leave, and then now you're bitchless, and you get
you're
no money.
broke.
Well, you're already broke.
Yeah, but you're double broke. But I would assume it's Big Brother rules where like you can only take like clothes, hygiene products, and maybe like one item that's not
Special
you
to
know
you.
like regular. But I would assume it's Big Brother rules where you don't have your phone and you're not seeing the news and all that shit.
Alright, as long as I can take my hydraulic fleshlight with me, I'll be fine.
Your
So
hedgehog?
long as I can bring...
Hydraulic fleshlight.
I thought you said hedgehog fleshlight.
No, hydraulic.
Okay, guys.
I'm gonna continue to believe hedgehog.
Believe what you want.
We have our first participant. Now, Caden, what did you bring with you today? Well, I brought, my toothbrush, because you said to. I brought my favorite blanket, because you said that was allowed. And, here's my dad's urn. I brought this because, I need some company in here. Well, you're going to be in here with a stranger. Yeah, this is in case I get tired of the stranger and need to talk to my father. Fuck you, Mr. Beast.
I brought my Fursona suit because
No, you can wear that in there though, because you get
Yeah.
changes of clothes, obviously, so you can just argue that that's one of your outfits.
yeah, it's my
No,
outfit, dude.
I wear this around my house every day, bro. Trust me.
This is my special celebration outfit. Anytime something good happens ever, I put this on immediately.
Okay, well, can you wear a sock? Because I'm noticing the cock hole. And, your dick's just hanging out the whole time. A free spirit, Jimmy.
Oh man, speaking of dick holes and fursuits, Caden, I don't know.
Because of course
if you're
that reminded
aware-
you of something.
I don't know if you're aware of the band Guar, Caden.
Can't say I know them.
They were a group of D&D nerds that made they called it shock rock, but it was basically old school shitty punk. And I mean that in the most respectful ways. I love shitty punk in general. Please don't get mad at me. But it was just a punk shock rock band where they'd throw blood and what looked like cum on their audience, and they would get swallowed by a giant worm and stuff. And they all cosplayed as monsters. And the singer at the time, his character's name was Odorous Urungus, and part of his outfit was he had a cuttlefish dick.
I'm sorry, he had a cuttlefish as a penis?
Yeah, he had a cuttlefish as a penis, and then later on in his career, he died of an accidental heroin overdose via shooting heroin into his nutsack.
I'm sorry.
Pretty
Gotta
metal.
get right in the folds.
Yeah. Pretty metal.
Why did he inject heroin into his nutsack?
Where else are you gonna inject it?
I don't
Ask
know,
your
I can't
dad.
ask my fucking dad now, can I?
Your dad.
Do I need to turn the webcam on and hold the urn up and see if he'll resonate? I'll get a Ouija board.
No, don't show the audience your face, they'll come.
I don't think they will, man.
Out of
No,
anger,
don't do
probably.
it. Angry cum,
You know-
it's real. We're gonna talk
Next-
about angry cum one day, audience, but Andrew's really tired of us talking about cum.
One of these days, we should get a Ouija board, and for an episode, we should try to conjure the
Nope.
spirit of my father.
Nope. I am not gonna fuck with a Ouija board.
I hard veto on
Cowards.
Ouija boards as well.
I have done it
Whoa.
before, and it was probably the creepiest thing I've ever done.
So,
apart from my ex-girlfriend.
My thing about general spiritual stuff, regardless if you believe in certain things, why would you tempt fate and disrespect those things in case they are real? That's my thing about it, right?
I don't
there are
think my dad will feel
entities.
disrespected.
Well, the thing is though, you're asking for somebody, but how a Ouija board works is the first spirit that picks up that signal is going to hear that, and it could just be a demon posing as your dad, bro. There's a lot of facets to what supernatural stuff is out there. And
Look, Eric, I don't think you quite understand how many horror movies I have seen. I quite literally would never fuck with a Ouija board because I've seen so many horror movies. I've never seen a horror movie where they touch the Ouija board and that's not the problem in the movie.
Because, there's an entity that I'm not gonna say the name of, but, quite literally, one of the things is the more you say that thing's name, the more powerful it becomes and the more it manifests closer to you, in our
Beetlejuice.
world. No. Close. Beetlejuice might actually
there's
be
the third time.
a witch. He might actually be a witch.
To be fair, though,
yeah.
like, we are, like, a long distance apart. Like, would he conjure on the third person who said it, or, like, the first person who said it?
Third person.
If that's what I gotta do to make... Was it Tim Curry that played Beetlejuice in the movie?
No, it was
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton played... Well, fuck it, either way. If that's what it takes to get, like, a healthier Michael Keaton in front of me, then I'll do it. I'll take one for the team.
You're probably thinking of, movie
Tim Burton.
Because Tim... No, Tim... I don't think
Because he directed it, didn't he?
Yeah, he directed it.
I thought he didn't, but I could be wrong.
It might be a Nightmare on Christmas kind of thing where, like, he wrote the concept but didn't actually direct the movie.
Well, he couldn't direct something like that. Like, because he made Corpse Bride as well, but he didn't direct it. Like, he directed it, technically, because he was present for most of it.
Yeah. He gets a lot of shit for... He gets a lot of shit for Nightmare Before Christmas specifically because A, like, the director's name never gets plugged ever, and
right.
B, like, he wasn't present for a lot of that movie's filming because he was busy making the 1989 Batman movie.
Right.
He gets a lot of shit for that.
You think I would know a lot about Tim Burton because my girlfriend really loves Tim Burton. I've seen so many Tim Burton movies just because of her.
Women.
Are you showing Sonic yet?
It's been on the screen this whole time.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it here.
No, we haven't.
Now I can't edit out any of that.
I'm fine with that. That's funny. I like it.
My favorite, like, joke in the movie, it's because it's a PG movie, I want to say, and they say fuckers, like, once in it. I want to say it's not PG-13, but they still get away with saying the word fuckers.
What movie is it? I'll fact check you.
Beetlejuice.
It is PG, yeah.
Yeah, it's PG, but like...
Yeah, he says nice fucking model in it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He says that and he, like, honks his dick.
I was gonna say, he honks his dick and he goes, nice fucking model! Like,
because fucking Civvy uses that clip all the fucking time.
Yeah, and it's really funny because because being as much of a movie nerd as I am, if you know jack shit about movies, one of my favorite facts to tell people is that in movies, you can use the fuck word if it's a PG-13 movie once and not be rated R, but the second you use, and not always, because some people...
It depends on context, I believe.
Context, and some movies do get away with 2 fucks. But for the most part, you're allowed 1 F-bomb per PG-13 movie.
And it's about the times, too, because, like, a lot of the Friday the 13th movies got scaled back, like, because of the time. But now, like, all of the scenes would have been included in pretty much all of those movies.
Yeah. Like, some of them aren't even, like, granted, Part 7 has, it got scaled back because Jason smacks this girl in the sleeping bag on the tree, and it was originally supposed to be 3 times.
Yeah.
And in the movie, it's only 1 time, and that kills way better just because it was 1 smack, I think. It's like, wow, he's strong.
Which one is the 7th one? What was the gimmick in that one?
Psychic girl.
He fights Carrie. Pretty much.
Okay, I have not seen that one.
Okay.
It's really good. There's a weed whacker scene.
Yeah, and I think that's the only time Jason uses, like, an electronic thing, like, as a weapon.
I feel like he used
I've seen the original.
chainsaw.
I've seen 4 way back when I was way too young to watch horror movies. And my parents forced me to watch that.
4 was really good. 4 is, like, probably arguably the best.
And then I've seen, I think it's 8, the one where he's in the sewer, the water knocks his... Yeah, I think it takes Manhattan. But it knocks his mask off and he looks really goofy.
I think Jason Takes Manhattan should have been like... I feel like if Jason Voorhees went to Manhattan, he'd have just gotten mugged for like an hour straight is what that movie should have been. It's been him getting mugged like every 20 minutes. And then like, he like, someone mugs him and like he's like laying on the ground about to get back up again. And... oh, hey, why'd you fall on the ground? He looks up and Kermit the Frog's there, and then, like, just have it be a Muppets Jason movie for the rest of the movie. That would have been great.
Muppets Jason movie would go hard, especially like if you watch
Exactly.
Jason X. Jason X,
Jason X
like
is my favorite one.
That's the space one,
everyone
right?
hates that one.
yes,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the space one. It's terrible, and I love it.
it's one of those like it's gone so far from being a horror thing, but it's a comedy and it's so good.
Yeah.
Horror comedy is
Like
great.
Well, yeah, one of my favorite. I'm not sure if it counts as a horror comedy. Have you guys ever seen The World's End?
I have not.
No.
Have you ever seen Shaun of the Dead?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's the same people from Shaun of the Dead. It's their third movie, and
That's
it's
what's
like
up.
sci-fi horror comedy. I'm surprised you guys have you seen Hot Fuzz, Eric? I know you haven't, Andrew.
You
I've
don't
seen
need to ask
some
if I have seen a movie or not, because the answer is 90%
Check
of
out
the
the
time
funny
no.
Sonic mouth.
I just know the one scene from Hot Fuzz where the big guy's loading the shotgun, is just shaking his head. Shame.
Shame. Yeah. No, because that's really funny because they're having a shootout, and he knocks a dude out and puts him in like the freezer, and the guy goes, "Oh, did you deliver one-liner when you knocked him out?" He went, "No, I didn't." He goes, "Shame." He's like, "Well, last night before I knocked
Great
him out,
model on that character, by the way.
Yeah, we were talking about beating off earlier, and I just wanted to really solidify beating off to video game characters.
I was more referencing the Beetlejuice nice fucking model thing.
Look, she's ready. Look at her. All right, this bit's done.
they can't all be good.
No, but like also you miss every shot you don't take, and
Okay,
I'm gonna
Wayne
take all
Gretzky.
of them. I'm gonna take all of them because at least one of them's gonna be funny. God damn it.
Not that one though.
No, that one's a dud, and that's okay.
It's okay, Eric. You can always drink your problems away.
Shit, that's what I was going to do tonight.
Yeah, you're gonna get drunk.
I forgot about my problems and decided not to drink tonight.
Oh, that's
When does that happen? Jesus Christ.
You're growing as a person.
You can't let that happen.
The World's End it's like Shaun of the Dead, it's like Hot Fuzz, same writer, it's still Edgar Wright, same director, it's still Edgar Wright. Same actors for the most part. Like, I think in Hot Fuzz, Eric, have you seen it? I didn't hear if you did.
I've seen parts of it.
Okay. Do you know the two detectives, the Andys in that movie? I think one of those guys is in Hot Fuzz, or in The World's End. Obviously, he's in Hot Fuzz. I just fucking said he was. And then there's two other people.
I don't believe you.
But the concept of the movie is there's this guy called Gary fucking King. He wants to do a bar crawl, all 12 pubs, all the way to the World's End is the final pub. Go figure. And on the third or fourth pub, they like discover, oh fuck man, we saw you. I'm gonna not do a British accent. They discover pretty much.
I thought you were just trying to be drunk.
They weren't quite drunk yet, but they kicked these teenagers' asses in the bathroom and like, smash their heads on like the stuff, and like, you know, blue shit comes out of them, and they're like, huh? Because they're like robot alien things now, and so the whole town's been taken over by robot aliens, and so they are like, look, if we leave now, everyone's going to know we know. We don't want them to know that we know that they know that we know. And they fucking just continue the pub crawl as if, you know, business casual. It's a really depressing movie, though. Point is, that's probably my favorite. I'm not 100% sure if that counts as horror, but that's probably my favorite horror comedy is The World's End.
This is one of my favorite bits too. Oh, it's not gonna do it anymore. That sucks. The water, like, being really crazy in this part of this level for no reason.
What do you mean really crazy? Just like it doesn't
where,
render
like,
properly or something?
It's something that you might have to see in post, where like the water's just bouncing up and down over the land over and over again. Very, very unnatural water physics.
Gotcha.
Is Rouge the Bat in
Nope.
this one?
She's in 2.
Okay.
She is not in this one.
I was gonna say, if she was in this one, Andrew, you better go get your condom on real fast.
Hey, look.
I know what Rouge the Bat looks like, and I'm not a furry.
When
You're not a furry, but she's a bat, so that would make you a fuzzy.
Yeah,
Pretty sure it's still a furry. Like, I don't think it matters what kind of animal that you're attracted to.
No, it does. If you want to fuck alligators, you're like called a scaly. So like I think it does.
I think it still falls under the umbrella of furry, though.
You're
no,
a furry.
scalies definitely are different, but there's not very many. There's like scalies, and then there's like avians, and there's probably more too. Because Lord knows
It's
that
like-
community like is just here for everything.
All right. Would you rather have a furry daughter or a clopper son?
How
Is suicide an option?
how vocal are they about it?
They're like the most cringe. Like.
Is that their life? Like, are they that
That's
vocal
their
about
life.
it?
That's their life.
Man.
So would you rather have a son that fucks My Little Pony characters, or would you rather have a furry daughter?
I'd rather have a furry daughter.
At least you'd probably end up with somebody in IT who's probably rich.
Probably.
Probably.
At least you'll get put in a nice nursing home. Yeah.
Well, there's that, and then also like.
Why would I care
you
what
worried-
nursing home she goes into? By that point, I'd hope I'd be dead.
No, I said she'll put you in a nice
Oh,
nursing home.
I-
Fucking idiot.
Well, and then there's
We've been
also
over
the
this.
fact
I'm
that-
maybe kind of stupid.
Maybe. Yeah.
there's a huge maybe there.
Big
There's
maybe.
the small fact.
Sorry,
that,
audience. I am actually stupid.
If
Hell
you
yeah.
had a furry daughter and you were worried about your daughter getting pregnant early, you don't gotta worry about that anymore. So that's kind of cool. Man, it is funny to shit on how this game works sometimes. Yeah, jump on the panels.
Oh, earlier you mentioned like whatever band it was,
Gwar.
Goro. Yeah, Goro. The guy from Mortal
Gwar.
Kombat. Gwar. They made them sound like Nickelback, and I said, do people
Oh
actually
no,
hate Nickelback?
stabbing Westward was the band I was talking about. Gwar is a totally different band.
We were talking
Stabbing
about
Westward was actually a decent band until they had to
Nickelback. But
to
what I was asking-
do stuff.
Do people actually hate Nickelback, or is that just like a facade?
I think it's
I
more of
don't
a
hate
meme by
Nickelback.
this point. Like,
That's what I mean. It's like, because like anytime I hear someone be like, "Yeah, I fucking hate Nickelback," like "Saving Me" comes on and they're singing along with the lyrics, and you're like, "Okay, sure."
I don't hate Nickelback, but I'm not going to like stop everything
I'm
and
not gonna-
listen to any of their songs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like stop everything and listen.
I
to,
like their.
I
Saving
might turn
Me
the
and-
radio station to a different station depending on the song. But
Saving
I
Me
think
and How You
I
Remind Me
think
are, like, their
Nickelback
best
is just
ones.
extremely mediocre.
Yeah.
They're not
I
good.
like-
have
They're not bad.
For me, I like their first couple of albums where like it was more aggressive sounding and like Chad Kroeger was angry all the time. Other
Props
than
to
that,
you,
though,
by the way, for saying their first album and actually talking about their first album and not Silver Side Up.
yeah. No, like most of their stuff, like if we're gonna talk about Silver Side Up, sounded like Bullet, or the one about the fucking dude who beats his girlfriend. Like they sounded like that, but like most of their songs with their first album.
See, that
Dude Who
was
Beats His Girlfriend,
one of the only
Young
songs
Gunnin'.
on Silver Side Up that I actually liked. Because that was like the opening track on that. Because it's a song basically about how he beats his girlfriend and she gets tired and shoots him.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Yeah, like it's like every female country song but sang by a man. Like, prove me wrong. Like,
No,
there's
That's 100%. I can't prove you wrong because the first thing that came to mind was I took a Louisville Slugger to both headlights because my mom would listen to that fucking song
exactly.
all the time.
They made
I mean,
a lot of cameos
to be
for that
fair,
song.
To be fair, though, if you weren't exposed to it like aggressively, like you were, that song slaps.
No.
In the music video, they made so many cameos, like Dee Snider, Gene Simmons, Hugh Hefner's probably in there. Like, there's a lot of fucking rock stars and general celebrities in that song for the music video.
If I hadn't listened to most of the music that, like, my mom would constantly play, like, I think I would probably enjoy it a little bit more than I do now. I still don't think I'd like it because, you know, my speed's more, you know, Nirvana, 3 Days Grace, like, all that kind of, like, shit I like. Rob Zombie, obviously. But, like, I still like some country, which isn't really fair to say because it's, like, two people. It's Johnny Cash and First Aid Kit are, like, the only country I'll listen to.
With Johnny Cash, I will see you that he's a country artist and raise you that he was actually, like, pre-indie. Because, like, Johnny Cash, gets lumped in with country, but, like, his music was, like, very different from even country back then.
It was very different.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Like, yeah, he's got, like, the country twang in his voice, but, like...
And so
it's not your typical
country.
He's doing his own thing, like, entirely.
Yeah, Folsom Prison Blues might be his most... No, Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire is probably his most country song.
Yeah.
Folsom Prison Blues is...
Is that the one, I shot a man just to watch him die?
I believe so.
Yeah, I shot a man just to watch him die.
Because that is, like, pretty country. That is pretty, old school country.
That's a little old school country, and so is
what song am I thinking about then? That it don't matter. I'm probably just thinking completely different artist then.
How's it go though?
I don't fucking remember. Like I can like it's. You ever have something in your head?
The Man in Black. When the man comes around.
You ever have like a song that's just in the back of your head, but like somebody asked you about it, or just a thought in the back of your head, and somebody asked you about it, and like. Gone. You can't get it from the back of your head to out of your mouth.
I did that the other day. I was at Roosters with, once again, from last week, we were talking about Zombies Cranberry. I just say
other way
Zombies
around.
Cranberry. We were talking about Cranberry Zombies. No, fuck. You get what I'm saying. And that came on when
Zombie by the Cranberries.
Yeah, I was at Roosters with my girlfriend and her dad, and it came on. And the first thing that came to mind was not that song, but the fucking one that's always stuck in my head, and I couldn't remember the lyrics until I said Adam Sandler, because I remember that song specifically from the scene in the movie Click, where he goes back in time to see what he and his wife's song was when they had their first kiss.
Adam Sandler, like, here's the thing, I get it's popular shit on Adam Sandler, but I'll say this about him, I'm jealous as fuck. I'm jealous as fuck because literally dude is living the life he wants to live, goofing off with his friends, making movies and going to cool places, and also making like all of his friends and all of his family like super rich, and like he's genuinely like happy, and like that's cool. I'm glad somebody's doing it.
Like you never hear anything bad about Adam Sandler. Like Adam Sandler has the whole Keanu Reeves thing where it's like he's just a nice guy. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone be like, oh yeah, I met Adam Sandler, he was kind of a dick. It's always like, yeah, no, Adam Sandler's cool. He dresses like a fucking bum, but he's cool.
He dresses exactly like all of his fucking 90s movies where he's playing a kid.
He dresses like me, for fuck's sake.
Like, yeah,
maybe
like
not the cargo shorts, but...
He literally dresses exactly like he appears in Billy Madison.
That's fair.
Billy Madison's another example of a PG-13 movie that has an F-bomb, and it has probably one of the funniest F-bombs, in my opinion, where all the kids fall asleep after reading the book, and Billy's like, I don't understand why. Oh, you have a dog. You have a responsibility. You don't look for an hour then give up. No, you get your ass out there and you find that fucking dog.
Speaking of funny shit, the funny Sonic memes for this game with his face, those are all just stock animations playing over and over again. They didn't do any lip sync cycles or anything like that, and that's why he's animated funny.
I can't imagine that that's true. I mean, they had to deliberately do this.
Again, 1998, like, This was doing more
I'm
than
being
Mario
very
64.
sarcastic.
I know you are.
Okay.
But this is doing more than Mario 64 ever thought of doing. And I know that a lot of people are going to cry about that, but y'all need to understand, Mario 64 was just competent. Sorry. Like, that's
Early
why
3D
it's
games were
good.
all bad. Fight me.
Yeah. Most of them were, yeah.
Like, I honestly don't like Super Mario Sunshine.
Mario 64 was competently made, but it was not a good game in my opinion. But it was because of nobody really knew how to handle 3D graphics at that point.
Mario 64.
It was a large stepping stone for 3D games, but
what was it? It was like what BioShock Infinite did for the porn industry.
You mean what Overwatch did for the porn industry?
No, do you not know about that?
I think BioShock Infinite can, like, the less that I think about that game, the better, because, like, BioShock by that point had overstayed its welcome, like, even with 2.
I think if they skipped 2, BioShock Infinite would have been better received.
Probably would have been better. It's just it overstayed its welcome.
Like, I like BioShock Infinite. It was probably the one of the BioShock games that played the best.
BioShock Infinite is my favorite, not for story or anything, just the gameplay itself is really fun. Yeah. Story-wise, it's got to be 2 and 1, obviously. I mean, you can't be
1 and 2 are the same story. And also probably. System Shock 2 is also the same story.
I don't know, when I think of 2, like, a story of 2 doesn't impress me until you play the DLC. The DLC has the craziest fucking plot twist imaginable. I don't want to spoil it in case no one has played that game. Also, it's a game that came out in 2009. Have you played the DLC for BioShock 2, either of you?
I have not. I've played the base game.
Okay, do you
I might have the DLC.
Do you mind if I say the spoiler?
I don't give a fuck. Like, I will never give a fuck about spoilers unless I tell you I give a fuck about spoilers.
Okay.
I've played System Shock 2 and was spoiled that the BioShock was the same story as System Shock 2 with names changed, and I still enjoyed BioShock, so go ahead.
I look up JoJo's Bizarre Adventure spoilers before parts come out. Like, it is what it is.
To be fair, you can also just read the manga if you really wanted to.
But reading's for nerds.
True. That's why I have a shelf full of books I'll never fucking read.
So BioShock 2 has this DLC. I forget what it's called. It's not Burial at Sea, because that's the Infinite one. Let me look up the name. I should have probably pulled this up before.
I always pull out.
I said pull up, motherfucker.
Man, I'm just trying to make jokes, my guy.
Minerva's Den.
Sounds about right.
Minerva's Den.
Yeah, Minerva's Den, and the player assumes the role of Subject Sigma, an armored and genetically modified human, or Big Daddy.
Sigma Dick.
Yeah, Project Sigma.
But basically, in this, you're navigated, like, you're guided by this dude called Porter, and he's like the scientist dude that works at Minerva's Den or something like that. And he wants you to get to his, like, supercomputer to get the blueprints so he can recreate it on the surface or some shit. I don't remember exact details, but you're meant to, like, this dude's talking to you. It's the whole, like, man in your ear that can you trust him, can you not, like, the entire time. Like, you're like, I feel like I can trust this guy. He seems like a reputable source. Like, he hasn't led me astray, blah, blah, blah.
But would you kindly?
But then at the end of the DLC, you are him. You are that guy who was turned into a Big Daddy for whatever reason.
Guy.
Yeah, you're Porter. And it's like one of the craziest fucking twists, because it's, you know, like, because BioShock always has those twists, like, oh, Comstock, you are Comstock, like, which I guess they stole that shit from BioShock 2's DLC, huh?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Anyway, but clearly you don't know what I meant when I said BioShock Infinite jump-started porn. People were so infatuated with Elizabeth that source filmmaking porn was, like, advanced really, really fast, more than it should have because of that game.
So did for Source Movie Maker or whatever the fuck it's called, what
Source Filmmaker.
what Overwatch did for Blender.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much that.
I mean,
Not that I
that's
know
just
what any
part
of those
it.
words mean.
That's just part of it, man. Like, it'd be what it be. People want to beat off. No matter how much you want to censor it, Andrew, people want to come.
Well, like, I think you should censor "cum" on YouTube, not the word itself. But if I were to turn on my webcam and shoot a load into my webcam,
I don't know. Did you mark it for adults only? Because if you did, like, I don't have a problem with it.
I want to get these videos monetized at some point, so please don't.
look, Oni play. Oh, you mean don't come? Okay, I was gonna say Oni plays is monetized,
Right.
so I think we'll be monetized. Maybe, probably.
Too late. Joke's on you. I already came.
You know what I like to do? You know how like the every movie has that scene where like the main guy is about to get like ready and he like dips his hand into like black paint, like streaks it across his like cheeks and like forehead, like and it's his war paint. What I do every morning is I wake up and I ejaculate a huge puddle into my hand and I fucking. We said we wouldn't talk about cum on this episode. I'm sorry. You already know where that was going, so I'm not gonna finish that thought. Anyway.
You didn't have to say any of it. As soon as you said something about war paint, I knew exactly where you were going, and I was shaking my head this entire fucking time. It's like,
Come here, baby. Let me put on some war paint for you.
So I know you guys are 200 and 400 respectively, and I'm a Zoomer. So what do you guys think of the new Minecraft mob vote that they're hosting?
I agree with the controversy.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
So Minecraft every year does this thing called the mob vote, and what they do is like, oh, you can have this in, you can have this in, or you can have this in. And people are finally starting to catch on.
Yep.
The last time you updated this game was a year and a half ago, and now you're making us choose between 3 things we want in the game for only one of them to be in the game? That's fucking stupid. Why don't you put them all in the game?
Yeah, and I agree with that. Minecraft's old enough to where it's like, hey, like, content
Just finish the
drip
fucking
feed-
game.
Content
It's
drip
not-
feed for Minecraft's never gonna be a viable thing ever.
Yeah. Like, Minecraft has already made its millions and millions, billions, trillions of dollars, right? So, like, you don't need to drip feed it. Just, like, hey, guys, new update's gonna be next year, late next year, because we have these 3 new mobs for you, and we have this other thing for you, and we have this thing for you. Instead of being like, hey, guys, we're adding this thing called the Deep Dark, and that's taken us a year because it's a whole revamping of the cave system. I didn't really, like, I was in the small minority of people who was like, fact that this update's taking so long is fine. I don't even play Minecraft that much anyway, so it doesn't affect me none. But the fact that that update took so long to even come out, it's like you guys are quite literally fundamentally reworking the way that the caves work in Minecraft. You are reworking the mine part of Minecraft. I can't really be mad because this is a game that released in 2012. At 10 years later, you're like, oh, let's change this thing that has stayed a constant for 10 years, right? Like, you can't really be mad at that. That's like, yeah, of course it's going to take a little while. They have to, like, redo their game pretty much. Like, I take issue
it's different.
when it's like, oh, hello, I am Jeb, the Swedish man, and today, do you want crab? Do you want armadillo? Or do you want penguin? It's like, why not give us all 3? It can't be that fucking hard to implement them all 3 into the game.
Either put in all 3 or please let me vote on more substantial content.
Yeah, like if you're gonna put it like, the thing is like you already know what's gonna get voted because people are like, we want dog armor in the game. We want dog armor in the game. It's like the armadillo lets you make dog armor. Then why not just put that in the fucking game? That's clearly what you wanted to do. Like, why have a vote if you're gonna clearly rig it? Which, it still pisses me off, because, at Dreamfella on YouTube, rigged the one mob vote, and that's why we have the glow squid in the game. I don't play Minecraft, but it still pisses me off that that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Side note, if you're a Minecraft YouTuber, just come out with the list of kids that you touched. Because we know you touched them. Everyone got uncomfortable with that joke.
No, I was gonna say something. I was gonna be like, I was gonna ask you guys something, and then I realized I really can't ask you that. Because I was gonna say, what Minecraft YouTubers did you guys grow up watching? And then I realized, wait a minute, the only one I can ask that to is Eric, because I don't think Andrew had YouTube as a child.
No, I did not.
He had like Cave Wall.
I'm trying to think like what we actually fucking had prior to YouTube.
You guys had like forums. Television, obviously.
You had forums on early internet.
Like
forums.
I remember Newgrounds.
Newgrounds, yeah. Which a lot of the Newgrounds people shifted over to YouTube afterwards. I mean, Oni is still on there. Zach has his own TV show now, which is really fucking cool. Love Psychic Pebbles, and I love Smiling Friends.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those people. There's also Ego Raptor, aka Handsome.
Nope.
But he turned his back on all of that, so like it doesn't really matter. Plus, like, yeah, game working. But yeah, a lot of them just transition. Oh, I'm supposed to be running. I forgot.
You know what I just realized? Wait, I just realized.
You forgot you have to run in a Sonic game?
Well, like, so, like, you saw what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, the wind was taking me. You can't blame me for just, like,
no, I'm being an asshole.
You can't blame me.
No, I'm just being an asshole. Like,
I haven't played this since I was, like, 8 or 9.
You need to play Sonic right now like you're Aaron Hansen.
No, I'm good. Like, those jokes have already been made, and they've been made by somebody who's, like, you know, got a large following. There's nothing that I could do with their jokes that they haven't done. And I'm also not gonna be one of those people who's super jaded about something that I actually liked as a kid.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I'm not blinded by nostalgia, but I'm not gonna sit here and, like, try to feed that stupid internet meme of, yeah, Sonic was always bad games and will always be bad games. Like, that's not how that works. Again, like, there's a lot of context. Like, this came out in 98, dude. This is, like, really good looking for 98.
Yeah, like, a lot of the Dreamcast games look fantastic for the time they came out.
Dreamcast fucking sucks.
You can't even name games that came out on the Dreamcast. I don't know why you have this opinion.
Yeah, I can. I can name a game that came out on the Dreamcast.
Besides Sonic Adventure 1 and 2.
Pepsi Man.
That was PlayStation 1.
Suck a dick.
So, like, again, like, I need to understand, because you've said the Dreamcast sucks like 80 times since I've met you, but I legitimately don't understand why you hold this opinion, especially when you can't name a Dreamcast game that we haven't named for you.
So, Eric, here's why I think the Dreamcast fucking sucks. I've never played a Dreamcast. Wait, I can name a game on the Dreamcast.
Fuck me sideways, no. The Atari 7600 or whatever the fuck it was called sucks too.
Well, I played the Atari 600. It's 2600. Anyway.
Yeah, 2600.
But did you play the Magnavox Odyssey?
No. Did you play the Ouya?
I played an Ouya. My buddy had an Ouya. It sucked.
Why?
Why did he have an Ouya? Because he had every console known to man.
Because his mom hated him.
No. Anytime a console came out, he got it. So I don't think it was that his mom hated him.
Did you almost run off that ledge there?
Yeah.
QA, people.
To be fair, like, Sonic is always kind of, like, once it transitioned into 3D, there's just a lot of stuff that, like, is mechanically, like, it's cool. Like, they've never, like, really gotten grinding like 100% like it should be. There's a lot of other stuff too, but like they're ambitious and they're
Listen,
fine.
But
I
like
can
they
name a
ended a
Dreamcast game.
spot where you didn't really have
Oh yeah,
control of
I
your
know.
character, and then as soon as you get control of your character, you're pointed at a fucking cliff, right at the edge of it.
And I'm gonna defend that by saying, understand that A, this came out originally in '98, and that B, this is a port of a bad port. Like the PC version is a port of a lesser port of this game.
But just understand where I'm coming from. Like if they
Oh
had somebody
yeah,
who played the game during QA and got there, somebody had to be like, "Huh, maybe we shouldn't point the player towards an endless cliff as soon as they get control of their character."
Anyway, the Dreamcast game I can name Seaman.
Seaman's funny.
Seaman is funny.
Seaman is funny.
Seaman's the only good Dreamcast game. And Sonic Adventure 2.
Again, no. Like there's Sonic
And
Adventure
Sonic
1 and
Adventure 2.
2. There's Shenmue 1 and 2.
I don't like Shenmue.
A lot of people really do.
Shenmue was basically just
Yakuza before Yakuza.
no, it wasn't even that. It was more along the lines of an open world Heavy Rain.
Yeah, I could give it that. I can give it that. That's
Yay, son!
not bad. Side note, like I know it's fun to shit on David Cage, and I am here for it. But I love David Cage. I love David Cage because he churns out shit.
He churns out The Room over and over again,
He
but the
just
video
churns
game
out
version of
shit,
it.
and I'm here
How does he
for
turn
it.
out shit? He made Detroit Become Human. He made Heavy Rain. Both of those games are phenomenal.
So I'll give you that Heavy Rain is a decent game that's marred by a couple of things, but
Yeah,
like,
the
listen,
ending.
Detroit Become Human is not a bad game per se. My problem with Detroit Become Human is, man, I hate that I have to say this out loud in a recording, but my problem with Detroit Become Human is that the story is literally like, feel bad that slavery happened 300 years ago and you had nothing to do with it. Remember when black people were slaves? Yeah, these androids, they're black people. Like, that, if that wasn't just all over the fucking game, like, to the point to where it's no, like, it's not even exaggeration, allegory, or comparison. It's just blatantly in your face at all times.
Like,
it's just too
I can
much.
understand. I can understand, like, if they were trying to go for, like, allegorically, like, you know, like, if they were a little more subtle with it. I get what you're saying. They
I
weren't
just wish
super
that they
subtle
were.
with it.
Yeah.
But
My problem with I'll let you finish and I'll say my bit.
all right, yeah. My thing is like, I don't really care about how on the nose it is, because for me it was never about that. It was like the two main characters. Like, I know the one chick is also a main character. Her story isn't as interesting as Connor's story. With
Marcus and Connor's story is fucking dope. Like, Marcus becomes like Jesus, and
for
like
the androids, yeah. And my favorite is Connor and Hank's like relationship. If you choose to be deviant Connor, because
I like if you choose to play the game poorly, you can kill Connor like 8 fucking times.
You can kill him in every chapter he's in, and it drives Hank insane, I believe. I think it drives him to kill himself, doesn't it?
Maybe. I know that's also if you don't revoke all the issues and stuff, because one of the things Hank says to Connor after leaving that Jared Leto's house, I don't remember what the character's name was, he's like, you know what I saw every time I saw you come back? I saw a chance that my son could have taken to come back and didn't. And like, it was something like, because, you know, he has a dead son, and it's very good to his character, and it's something about how he's pissed that Connor keeps getting these second chances, but his son couldn't, something like that.
And also, yeah,
Mr. Krabs does an insanely good job.
That's why I was gonna
say.
Isn't
that Hank?
It also takes me out, but makes me happy that it's just Mr. Krabs. Like, almost borderline. I don't remember having to hold it that long. Jesus.
my only issue with Detroit Become Human is like Connor's story was the most interesting one to me because I love like that like kind of detective part of it.
Yeah.
Um, Marcus's was okay. I think the female character's was named Kara.
I
Kara.
understand what they tried to do with her story.
She was
but it just
originally
kinda...
going to be like the character of the game too, and she had the
God.
weakest story out of all three of them. And I accidentally, my first playthrough, got her killed in her first chapter and didn't realize, oh, she actually that was literally the end of her story. Why isn't she popping up anymore? Nope, she literally got basically permanently deactivated because of that.
I didn't know you could get her permanently deactivated.
Yeah, there's the bit where the guy tells you to stand still while he goes to beat his daughter, and you can just stand there. Okay. And I figured that's what you were. No. I figured that's what you had to do because every time I tried to move, it's like, hey, don't move. Your directive is not to move. Your directive is not to move. It's like, okay, it's not gonna let me move. So I just set the controller down and listened to the sounds of child abuse. And then the screen faded to black, and I never played Ascara again.
Okay, then. It's like,
which is fair.
Did you play through that game again?
I tried to, and then I got to her next chapter, and it's like, hey, we don't have a place to stay, and there's like a coat in that car. I need that coat, but you need to feel bad about breaking into that person's car because that's not right. Yeah. It's like, well, I get that I should feel bad about that.
Because the little kid is actually an android.
Yeah, I got that plot twist later on because I kind of like looked up her story, and it's like, okay, that didn't really get any more interesting.
No, it really doesn't. I think the funniest bit of her story is if you get splattered in front of Connor.
That is funny. Again, like, what sucks about Kara's stories, I see what they tried to do with it, and it could have worked. It's just it fell flat.
I'm fine. Like, I don't have a problem with Kara's story because I feel like if they tried to make her story like exceptional, Connor and Marcus's story would suffer for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They
definitely had the best writers on Connor and Marcus's story.
Yeah.
Especially the like 28 fucking stab wounds.
He doesn't say fucking.
Does he not say fucking? Did that meme lie to me?
Yeah, that meme lied to you because what he slaps down the paper and he goes 28 stab wounds. He was bleeding, begging you for mercy.
Because I know the meme is like 4,628 fucking stab wounds.
Yeah, he does not see. I don't think Connor says fuck once in that until he goes deviant.
But yeah, like.
Well, obviously he doesn't. He also doesn't say over 4,000 stab wounds.
Yeah, one of my favorite bits in that, like one of the biggest fuck ups you can do, is like if you know Hank's son's name, or even if you don't, like, and you just like fuck up that thing, it's really funny. Where it's like, okay, what is my son's name? Connor, and like, you know, like the other guy is like, I don't fucking know. And if you choose the right option, Hank shoots the bad Connor, and you're like, thank you, Hank, for blah blah blah, and you know, you guys are best buddies. If you choose the wrong answer and you don't say Cole, he caps you.
Yeah.
And the other Connor just goes, thank you, detective, and like walks out. He goes, oh fuck, oh shit, I fucked up.
Oh no.
Again, that could have been caught in QA.
Yeah, it could have been.
God, I would love and hate to work in video game QA because, like, again, I love playing video games.
Funny water, here it is. Funny water.
Okay, yeah, I saw what it did.
Yeah.
No, but like, I've heard stories of. Are you? Sorry, were you not done with your bit on Detroit?
No, I was gonna say that would suck depending on the game, and I was gonna let you continue.
Yeah, because I've heard horror stories about people working in QA for video games because, like, you don't usually work for, like, say, for Sonic, you typically don't work for a Sonic team. You're
Yeah.
typically a third party that is getting hired for it.
Hands on the game. Yeah.
So
Well,
like the company you're working for just gets random games, and you just get assigned whatever game, and they tell you like what you're looking for. Like this one guy, he got unlucky and he had to work QA on a shovelware like bowling game that wasn't complete yet, and he had to basically go through and make sure that the audio worked for every different like bowling alley that was in the game, and it was like 20 of them. So you had to play a full game of bowling in each of these arenas or whatever, each of these bowling alleys, to make sure the sound would loop properly and it didn't clip and the sound and whatnot, didn't mess up while the game was going on. But they didn't have any music. They had placeholder, which again is fine because that's how things happen. But the placeholder music they had was the fucking circus music. And it was just that clipped endlessly, and he had to do that for 20 games of bowling, maybe more. I don't know how many alleys they had.
Did he get to like take? Because if I was him, like after one game, I would have taken the headphones off, gone up to my boss, and went, "Sir, I need you to listen to this, please." And like, "Oh, what's the problem?" He puts them on and like.
Fun fact: that is how Sweet Child
we're not
of
selling
Mine.
this.
That is how Sweet Child of Mine came about. Slash was fucking around on his guitar trying
Slash
to play the circus theme.
Slash was doing like a string skipping exercise or something.
Yeah, and it was like to the rhythm of like that circus theme. Or so, it was something like that.
Because I know he was doing just some like practice exercise, and like one of the studio execs was like, "That sounds really good. Put that in a song."
Put that in a song.
Also, I think it's also Sweet Child of Mine, but the studio exec wanted a breakdown. So like, but they didn't know what to do. So like the "Where do we go now?" is literally just them. They don't know what to do, so they're like vocalizing. Where do we go with this breakdown? Where do we go?
You know what's funny about Sweet Child of Mine? Once again, that's another song that anytime I hear it, I think of Adam Sandler because I think of
the shitty cover in Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Because it is not a good cover.
It's not a good. I think of that, and I think of Step Brothers.
Is it supposed to be a good cover, or is it supposed to be a shitty cover?
There's like a sad scene where like after the kid gets taken away, he's like, but I wiped my own ass. I wiped my own ass. And Adam Sandler goes, I know. And like the kid gets taken away, and he's like going through the apartment cleaning up after the kid, like crying while it's playing like a really shit cover of Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah,
it's meant to be sad.
As like my favorite band of all time is Guns N' Roses. That shit hurt me as a kid, like to hear that. It's still my favorite band, but I don't listen to them that much anymore. It's just the first thing that I grabbed that was not like it was my music that I started listening to, because now I listen to just a bunch of fucking death metal and electronic music.
So, question: have we talked about karaoke on the show before?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Eric might remember this, but since we're speaking about, because I'm a complete normal human here, since we were talking about songs that hurt our souls, one of the times we were at, I think it was one of the cons here where we live, but they had like a rock band set up out in one of the hallways, and some kid was like belting out, I think it was Piano Man by Billy Joel, but it was not. We're walking past.
We've heard some really bad rock band shit at conventions.
And I just look over to my roommate and I just look at her and it's like, I'm not a huge fan of Billy Joel, but Billy Joel does not deserve this.
I do like that Billy Joel gets people in like the nosebleed section and brings them up front.
Oh yeah, Billy Joel is a cool guy. Like I have nothing
'cause
against him.
He wants people who aren't rich snobs that are buying up all of like the front row seats
Yeah,
to actually be in the front
I
row.
think he
I
also
think
like
that's dope.
I think he also like just he doesn't sell tickets to his front row for that reason
And
or
then
something like that.
Also, We Didn't Start the Fire is kind of a fire fucking song.
Oh, it fucking is. I would do that song at karaoke in a heartbeat if I could remember how to pronounce half the words. Because I would have to. I would have to sight read that song. I would have to sight read that song with the words on screen, but some of the words are not said the way they sound, or not.
Yeah.
They're not.
It's like when
they're not
T-Pain,
phonetic.
like if you were singing like T-Pain at karaoke, you could easily mistake his rhyme where he goes, "I can put you in a mansion up in Wisconsin," or fuck, "I can put you in a mansion up in Wisconsin," right? Is what the lyric technically is supposed to be.
But he says Wisconsin because he's trying to rhyme it with mansion.
Exactly.
But I feel if you're gonna do karaoke, you're gonna do a song you know. So that's kind of a bad example because if you're doing that song by T-Pain, you would know that he says mansion in Wisconsin.
That's one of my favorite lyrics in a stupid song ever. Oh wait, that's a bad example. Eat was MC Vagina is what that's from. It's a old song. You from YouTube, you may or may not. I know you know it, Andrew, because
I do not.
Before. Yeah, you do. Fucking, man. I'll show it to you later. I really don't feel like singing fucking John Javois shit and getting in trouble for singing stuff from John Javois. Nobody knows who he is anymore.
That's fair. That's understandable. Just link it to me on Discord or something. I'll watch it in like 2 weeks.
But yeah, there's E equals MC Vagina, and then there's is it Show Me Your Genitals? Is the title of the other one? You know what?
That one I remember. I remember. I remember at least. I at least remember the title. I don't think I remember the song, but I remember.
But
I remember a song with that title.
But yeah, one of the lyrics in it, because he's talking about how good he is at sex, and then like his example was, "I'm like the Helen Keller of sex." Oh wait, that's a bad example. Because that just means he's blind and deaf to the subject as a whole.
Oh God.
Talking about dumb songs, have you guys? I'm almost positive you've heard that song by, I think his name's Little Big. The song "My Dick."
I'm gonna go with no, dog.
The Sega game that nobody played. Remember the Sega game nobody played? Sega wants you to remember.
I remember the game. I've never played it.
I've never played it either.
You're telling me you guys have never heard that song where it's "My dick is big"? I'm almost positive you've heard that.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah. Andrew?
It's just my memory doesn't work.
I don't. I have the memory of a goldfish.
My memory works differently where, like, I remember things, but, like, how I remember things and, like, the way that I have to, like, I have to be shown examples to be, oh, I remember that now, like...
God, that happens so much at work. Like,
Memory is the worst thing in the world.
So, I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but I work in a garage. And I'll get asked all the time, "Hey, do you remember this car?" And they'll tell me the make, model, the customer's name. I'm like, doesn't ring a bell.
There's
Why?
a lot of cars.
Yeah, doesn't ring a bell. I work on I'm responsible for 40 or so cars a day. What was the issue with it? And then they'll tell me whatever the issue was. It's like, oh yeah, that person.
Yeah. No, they're just like, hey,
weird associations.
I'm gonna
and then I'll be like, so yeah, that person. So this. It's like, it just something needs to unlock the memory for me.
Yeah, I have weird association things too, because me and my girlfriend are gonna be doing like a horror movie thing Monday, and I was like, I'll pick 2 movies, you pick 2 movies, and I'll like. She was like, all right, make me a pile because you have a bunch of horror movies. Just make me a pile, 1 horror pile, 1 goofy pile, so that way we can. Because we're gonna watch 2 horror movies, then 2 horror comedies to that way. We
That
can
way
sleep at
she
night.
don't have any bad dreams.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Tell her to fucking get over it.
don't be a dick. Fuck you. Anyway,
Wonder why you're
Dick.
single.
Tell her
fuck you,
fucking
Eric.
get over it. Like,
Anyway,
look, like
my-
you're dating me. You know what this is about.
I don't know. She's already dating a serial killer. She doesn't need to like
Yeah,
have dreams about him,
listen.
right?
Yeah,
Anyway,
listen. I can't be loving people who don't fucking act right. Fucking don't worry about it.
anyway,
Is this trying to be Superman 64 now?
No. It's just gambling.
Or
which
like
is in,
any
like,
of the Star
most
Foxes?
of-
I was referencing the Flying Through the Rings.
Yeah. Which, like, it sucks that that game wasn't good because, like, it did look alright for its time, like, graphically. It's just, like, they didn't know what to do with 3D games.
Yeah.
but I have my 2 piles now. I have my 2 piles for her, and I have the movies I picked. I picked Silent Hill, and I picked The World's End, which is why I brought it up tonight.
Okay. Never
Silent
seen the
Hill
Silent Hill
definitely.
movie.
It's all right if you're a
It's
Silent
not
Hill
bad.
fan. It's
It's a
not
gender swap
great-
of the first game. I know that.
Pretty much. It's not a like fantastic like. If you're a big fan, you can easily nitpick it or whatever. And I'm a big Silent Hill fan. I
I'm a
just
huge
choose not
Silent
to
Hill
nitpick
fan,
it.
and I haven't seen the movie, and I still nitpick it.
I
Yeah,
will
yeah,
say
like-
this about the movie.
I am an asshole when it comes to it. I don't know why.
I think we've
I'll
talked
say-
about this before. Like, because Eric's going to say that he doesn't like the usage of Pyramid Head, right?
Well,
And-
I don't either.
No, that's not what I was gonna say. What I'm
Or
gonna
maybe
say
that
about
was.
the movie-
I mean, that is my opinion, but maybe you're thinking my opinion and not his. I don't know.
Well, I've said it
Maybe.
before too, but like what I'll say about the movie
It's everyone's opinion.
specifically is that that's unfortunately that's the bar for good video game movies. Like that's the bar.
I think the bar got raised with the Mario movie that came out because that shit was awesome.
I didn't.
The
watch
'90s
it.
one, that one's terrible.
Oh, the fucking new one.
Got him. Got him.
Anyway,
Oh no
The
no
weird
no.
memory the weird memory thing I did for it, I was like, oh, I gotta remember to do that. And so what I did is I threw a pair of pants outside of my doorway, and when I got up this morning, I walked out there and I went, why do I have a fucking pair of pants on the? Oh, I gotta get my movies.
Yeah, that
My
really weird
movies.
association there.
Well, it's just a matter of like you tell me you've never like misplaced something
Oh,
or put
yeah.
something somewhere specifically
day.
in order to
every
jog
day.
a memory. Like it's like why is my TV remote inside this camel's ass? Oh right, I gotta mow the lawn.
Yep. Every day.
Have you ever accidentally left the TV remote in the refrigerator?
Yes, I've left my phone in the refrigerator.
I've done that. I've never left the TV remote though.
You want to hear the story of how I left my phone in the fridge?
Sure.
It's really dumb. My buddy it was like
Put
3
your
in the
phone in
morning
the
and-
fridge and you left it.
No, I was playing video games. I was playing video games, and my buddy was like, it's 3 in the morning, and I was like, I'm gonna go to my fridge and eat a piece of cheese, and I'll send you a video of it. And I did just that, and then I shut the fridge door after sending it to him. And like an hour later, he sent me a message like, "Hey man, like," or he didn't send me a message, but he told me he sent me a message. I was like, oh yeah, let me grab my phone. Where's my phone? Did I leave it in the fridge?
See, mine was just
Yeah, I get
I
that.
was extremely
Chocolate milk.
tired. I was extremely tired, and I got hungry, and I was just messing around on my phone. I pulled something out of the fridge, and it's like, my hands are full, and I need to close the fridge, so I need to put something down. It's either the gallon of milk I just pulled out of the fridge, or my phone. And this is like, again, 3 in the morning. I was like, well, I need to get this out. Yeah, it's like I was going to pour myself like a glass of milk or something. So I set my phone in the fridge and just close it, pour my milk, and then I'm freaking out because I can't find my phone. And my mind is just not like, hey, dumbass, you just set it down in the fridge because you're stupid. My mind is freaking out. It's like, I would have just put it down on the counter, right? So I'm freaking out, and I eventually just decide, well, I'm going to put the milk back and just retrace my steps and see if I can find it. So I open the door, put the milk back, and right in front of my face is my fucking phone.
Oh, I'll put milk in your fridge. Yeah, I'm making that joke again.
Boo.
Because again, like, sex and cum, it's funny. Everyone likes sex and cum.
Enough about cum.
White pea is my favorite thing to call cum because it's funny.
My favorite thing to call cum, I don't know why you're coming up with white pea. Mine always comes out red. But
mine comes out fucking chunky.
Mine comes out like... You ever read that book by Dr. Seuss, Oobleck? Mine's like that.
Mine's like, have you ever made vegetable beef stew?
No,
like
I don't cook. But okay.
You know, like it's brown, it's got carrots in it.
Got some beef, some potatoes.
It's got some beef tips, some potatoes,
So you know how kidney stones exist, right? And you piss them out. Is it possible to cum a kidney stone out? Because that
Probably.
would suck.
Probably. But like also like.
Why don't you Google it and tell us?
You probably don't want to do that.
I don't want to Google it either. You genuinely got me curious, though. I don't know why.
Like, you probably wouldn't want to do that, though, because for you to know that you have a kidney stone, right, that means that it's like you're in the process of passing it, and if you start cranking it, like, you're going to cut the ever-living fuck out of your urethra, and it's going to be...
Oh, you're...
It's going to be the worst of times, brother. It's not going to be
I really
Christmas
like that show
with the
Seinfeld.
cranks.
I really like that show Seinfeld.
I feel that's kind of what our podcast is. It's not really about anything.
I really like...
Times, I swear to God, the amount of time people, like, I mentioned, like, oh, I have to record a podcast tonight, or this or that, and they're like, oh, you have a podcast now. I'm like, yeah. What's it about? We talk about cum sometimes and Metal Gear. I don't know, like nerd shit, like that. All I say is nerd shit, and like it's. I feel like it's doing a disservice to the podcast because I feel like someone's.
I wouldn't even call this a podcast really, because we have video game stuff too. It's just kind of like podcast is just because we don't really have a word for it.
Yeah, it's just like three dudes hanging out 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart from each other because we're not gay.
No, Hayden is sitting on my lap, and I am sitting on Andrew's lap.
And I'm shitting my pants.
And our nuts are like knotted together, like we tied them together.
But we are wearing socks.
We are wearing socks, but there is like a
socks on right now.
But there is like a.
Well, I have some bad news for you, Caden.
There's also a Triton dildo thing that is, like, in all of our asses. Like, while we are also in all of our asses at the same time. Like, we're DPing each other, like...
I think this joke's gone on far too long.
I can make it longer, Giggity.
Listen, I preferred when you joked about having sex with my mother and not you balls deep inside of me. No, you weren't balls deep inside of me. My and your nuts were tied together and your dick was in my ass. That's
I mean...
You've never done that before?
Wait until I put my kidney stones in your ass in about 20 minutes.
Well, then
is it going to take you that long to crank it out?
Yeah, I'm going to get my kidney stones and my beef stew in your ass.
Oh my god. My god.
He's stewing!
Alright, let him
this
cook.
One all day.
Let him cook? What do you mean? I'm just in the kitchen, you know, don't worry about it.
My jizz actually comes out like deviled eggs. Like it's the same consistency and same color, and it tastes the same. So usually every Thanksgiving when they go
So
to deviled
my
eggs,
question is:
they just.
is it like the yellow with the paprika on it, or is it just the?
All right, listen. I mean this in the nicest way possible. Paprika's the red stuff that people put on the deviled eggs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you put paprika on your deviled eggs, kill yourself.
Paprika has no taste. It's literally
Paprika.
It's
It
Paprika
probably
literally
does
goes on
have a
chicken.
taste, but
Paprika
It's
goes on
for
chicken.
design.
Like
It's
that's
for,
what
like,
you use
But-
paprika
stylization.
for.
I don't want my fucking eggs stylized, okay? I just want the egg. Like,
it's
why did you-
aesthetic.
Oh, yeah. I don't care about aesthetic.
You put beautiful
yeah.
things in your mouth all the time.
No, I don't. Well,
Yeah,
Eddie.
that's what I thought. Yeah, let's fucking step in that one. Let's do it. Let's go there. Let's see what happens.
I have a deviled egg story. So, one. Should I tell it like it was the night
One
of
fateful morning.
Thanksgiving. One fateful Thanksgiving. My uncle had prepared.
After kicking
Three.
the jism sock out of my bed.
After kicking the jism sock out of my bed, I had awoken to discover that we were heading to my uncle's for Thanksgiving.
Is it the uncle that works at
Crank.
Nintendo?
No,
don't
it's the
have an
uncle
uncle
that
that
bad
works at Nintendo.
touches.
It's not Uncle Bad Touch. I don't have one of those. I'm not you, Eric.
Yet.
Anyway, shut up. Stop ruining the Christmas vibes of this
This Halloween
October.
episode.
This Halloween episode. That's not on Halloween.
I know.
They don't know that.
Which
We're
Yeah,
we're
It's only
recording
going to be uploaded
we're
like
recording
2
this on
weeks beforehand.
Thanksgiving of 2016. They don't know.
anyway,
This is the
My
9/11
uncle had
episode where we're actually recording on 9/11.
I wasn't even born yet.
That's what makes it special.
It's the 9/11. It's the 9/11 stream that we live streamed during 9/11 at the site of it.
Have you seen the video where the dude actually on 9/11 with a camcorder has a Nintendo whatever console? I think it's a 64 because he says Banjo-Kazooie. He's like, my favorite video games are Super Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, and he pans up to the TV and 9/11's happening. He goes, oh fuck.
Yeah, I've seen that one. You know what's even more fucked up than that? It's probably out
Ever
there.
9/11 meme.
It's probably out there, but there's almost certainly a couple that made a sex tape in a high-rise building in New York on 9/11, and they got footage of 9/11 happening while they were clapping cheeks. It
That's
probably
actually really funny.
exists. There probably is one out there.
Anyway, here's my deviled egg story. My uncle had prepared quite the big Thanksgiving meal. He thought there was going to be a lot more people than showed up. There was 3 turkeys, 2 hams, and I shit you not. You know those silver trays that you put the turkey in or your other sides in?
Yeah,
Deviled eggs, do you think that can hold? 40?
at least 3.
55. At least 2.
Let's just say 40 for a rough estimate, alright?
At least
So
2.
he had 6 of those trays. And I was like, I want to stay the night on Uncle Kelly's. He has all the Thanksgiving food. I'll eat it tomorrow. And my mom was like, yeah, sure, whatever. That's fine. And, because he had Netflix. We didn't have Netflix at my house at the time. He had a samurai sword. That was badass. His place, his house was cool as fuck, alright? And I ate 4 of those fucking trays of deviled eggs. And had 2 liters of Mountain Dew. So that's 4 liters of Mountain Dew. And I upchucked like a motherfucker.
I was just about to ask, how are you still alive?
The amount of throw up. It was all deviled egg and Mountain Dew. It was horrid. And you know what I did after that?
8 more of them?
Yeah.
My deviled egg story is, that's what I call, cream pieing, Caden's asshole, like I'm about to do right now, because we're on the couch, butt naked, except for socks. Fucking right now, viewers.
I can't
Make
wait
him
until
a
we get
deviled
enough
egg.
fans to make actual fanfic of us, because that's going to be so
No.
terrible.
Don't will that into existence. I can't wait to read as Caden spread Eric's butthole. I don't want to read that.
Well,
Nobody's forcing you.
First off, if we were ever gonna do anything like that, you would be the bottom. Period. Sorry.
Can't wait to like.
Sorry, fanfic writers.
I can't wait for us to be like popular enough to where I get ats on Twitter. And it's like, oh, I'm a big fan of you. Like, you know, I just like, you know, like, oh, big fan. Oh, at you know my Twitter handle. Yeah, I'd love to see you swallow Eric's fucking cum. Like, I can't wait to have that in my mentions every fucking day.
My favorite will be reading on your Twitter profile. Concerned fans being like, man, I can't believe you're still with Eric. He treats you like shit. He abuses you. You need to leave him. You need to be free. You need to get help. Like, I can't wait till we're at that point.
How many times on this podcast have I mentioned my girlfriend? I've mentioned my girlfriend quite a lot. You think that they would...
People
see
cheat.
what they want to see, though. Well, not just that, but like... people see what they want to see. Like, if viewers think that we're a couple, they're just gonna think that, and they're gonna ignore every instance of you talking about your girlfriend and me not being gay.
I mean, have you ever seen anybody ship characters in anime?
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not an anime character, though.
With fat hair, though, you could be.
I'll come on you just the same.
Jesus Christ, Eric.
I'm sorry, I had to.
What was that voice? Why were you like a 19?
Why is there another fucking pinball machine in this game?
Because at some point when I have time to bring it up, I was going to talk about how it's weird how, like, Sonic has always had, like, casino venues, gambling slot machines, and pinballs, like, in, like even the original games. Like,
yeah, like, the original games...
has been a very Sonic
there's... thing. I think... I'm not sure about the first one. I know the second one had, like, a casino zone.
Yeah.
And that's always been a thing in Sonic games. My question is, why the fuck are there 3 of them in this one level?
Just because. And, like, I probably could have left this level, but I just wanted to talk about Sonic having casinos before I did that.
The thing is, I think it might be part of... Japan has, like, a really big gambling culture, if I'm not mistaken. That's why there's so many, like...
Pachinko parlors.
Yeah, exactly.
Pachinko parlors.
So, with Sega being, you know, a Japanese company, I'm assuming, like, every single one has a gambling... Ow! Oh, this company that's based in Japan, are they Japanese, American, or, like, fucking Cantonese? Well, my guess would be that they're Japanese. Racist. Yeah. Anyway, because they're a Japanese company, and with Japan having such a, you know, like, fascination with gambling, that's probably why they... It's the same reason why a lot of Japanese games include cowboys, because... Funnily enough, you know how over here in America we fantasize about, like, the samurai fantasy, like, you know, and like, you know, the all that, like, weeb shit we have?
That reminds me of a tangent, but finish.
We max at 999, by the way. There's no point in me playing this anymore.
over in Japan, they have, like, reverse, like, weeaboos where they, like, obsess over cowboys and revolvers and stuff, and I think that's really fucking cool.
Well... So samurai and cowboys, like,
they existed at the same time, did they not?
Yeah,
but they're mythologized in, like, similar fashions. Like, they're exotic to the place that they're, like, not from, basically. So, like, it makes sense, like. And then there's other factors too, but we'll talk about that because it's kind of a broad topic about, like, how people dress up as, like, terrible things from the past.
Fair.
Because, like, time has made us forget, like, yeah, it's cool that your kid's dressed up as a pirate. Let's not talk about how pirates were some of, like, the most, like, they were, like, philanthropists
terrible people.
They were, like, philanthropists for rape and murder.
They were also gay. Like, pirates did have, like... You know the term matey is actually a term of endearment because pirates would, like... They were, like, the first people to, like, be like, yeah, I mean, fuck, we're pirates. We don't care. Get gay married. We don't, like, it doesn't matter to us. So, pirates had gay marriage ceremonies, and a lot of pirates were gay because of that, which is where the slur "butt pirates" come from, because
Hey,
of
Caden.
specifically. Huh?
Hey, Caden.
Yeah.
Why are butt pirates butt pirates?
Why are they butt pirates, Eric?
Because they just are.
So my thing I was gonna mention on a lighter note, so with the sub versus dub argument here in the States,
Yeah.
it's
had this
personal
argument the
preference
other
is
day.
what I say, but
I think it's personal preference, but if you're a snob about it, I'm gonna call you a like the end
Yeah.
of.
I prefer sub in a lot of things, but like, I'm not a dick about it.
I prefer dub just because it's easier for me because like I can't read subtitles and look at what's going on
Is
in
your
the
old
scene.
PP baby piss boy? Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, I'm not mean to people who like dub. Oh, pee baby piss boy.
Oh no, that's
Anyways.
a reference to a shitty like, old school like YouTube poop of your favorite anime.
Attack on Titan.
No, not Attack on Titan.
Cowboy Bebop.
Bebop. Yeah, there's like a fan dub of him saying that he's a PP baby piss boy, and it's really funny.
But anyways, somebody went around asking Japanese citizens, couldn't think of the word. They went around asking Japanese citizens what they
Japanese
thought of
losers is what he was really trying to say, because he's racist to viewers.
Sure, let's go with
Eric's
that.
also racist. You should hear half the shit Eric says off recording. We stopped recording. He immediately just, for no reason, like those damn Libyans. Like they haven't been prominent since Back to the Future, so I don't know.
Can
why
you
so angry
let
about
me
them.
finish my tangent?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay,
No.
thank you. But they went around asking a bunch of Japanese citizens what they thought of King of the Hill and whether they preferred the sub or the dub. And there were a lot of people who literally said, "Yeah, you have to watch it in sub because it loses a lot of its meaning in translation."
King Uzubaru, or whatever. I don't remember exactly how it's pronounced, but like, the power scaling videos remind you every time you watch those. Those videos, by the way, do not have enough viewers. Maybe we'll link those one day, because we're going to talk about King of the Hill again, but the power scaling videos of Dale Gribble, Hank Hill, Boomhauer, and Bill Dotrieve are some of the funniest videos on YouTube ever.
I was gonna say something about like I think it's really funny to imagine like Japanese kids like going around saying, "God damn it, Bobby," and then it came to mind that, kids probably didn't watch King of the Hill because anytime I tried to talk about King of the Hill with kids my age, they were like, "Ooh, you're a fucking loser. You watch King of the Hill? What the fuck's wrong with you?"
I like to
skip that and
think
watch
that
Mulligan.
I like to think that in a Japanese arcade somewhere right now, there's
There's
a
a King of the
Japanese
Hill.
child cosplaying as Bobby Hill, screaming, "That's my purse!"
I don't know you, and then kicking the person in the nuts.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's great. King of the Hill is like one of the most like impactful, like genuinely honest to God good shows because I think that's part of the reason why I like King of the Hill so much is because you watch Family Guy and you can get a laugh out of it, but it's so cynical compared to like King of the Hill's like
King of the Hill
Yeah.
raised the bar for adult animation in America. Like, it's actually not shit.
honestly
like-
people who say King of the Hill is boring haven't sat down
They
and
have
watched
missed
an
it.
episode of it.
Have missed the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. That and like how can you call it like oh well King of the Hill's not that funny and then like all I can think about is like guns don't kill people.
The government does.
Like fucking love like
Like,
Dale
it's
Gribble.
so funny because Dale Gribble is literally the, like, exaggeration of, like, somebody who drinks way too much of, like, the current Republican water. But, like, done, like, way before, like, that was relevant.
Before that was like a popular stereotype to do. And it's like here's the thing, he's still such a likable fucking character. It's not like he's trying to force political
He's
views
layered.
down your throat 24/7.
Yeah,
It's
and,
just
like, before people run too wild with it, I do have to state there's nothing wrong with being a Republican, what I meant by that statement is extremists on both ends are really fucking annoying, and I don't like to deal with them.
Well said.
Yeah, politics are stupid.
Well, like, politics are important, but like, they're made not to be important so that the people making decisions can make the decisions that they want, and it's a lot of scummy shit. But like,
Democrat,
mostly
Republican, I don't give a fuck. What's your favorite video game?
Mostly, I just wanted to make sure that like it's not like I'm like shitting on somebody because they're a Republican. I'm shitting on someone because like they're too far gone in an ideology and they just need to chill out and play video games or watch anime or do something that makes you happy instead of relying on politics, because politics will not make you happy.
Still, one of my favorite things Dale says, I think his best joke is the one where he's up in the tower. He's like, if you're gonna kill me, I want Bobby Hill to take the shot. I know he'll put me down clean.
And then Bobby's just like, okay. I think
he reaches for the officer's gun.
I think my favorite joke is there's an episode.
I love that they're not even like really trying to make jokes. It's just naturally funny.
Yeah, there's an episode where Peggy like makes an offhand comment about like a couch or some inanimate object, and she just goes, "Well, it didn't just sprout legs and walk away." And Luann's like, "No, it couldn't have."
Dumb blonde stereotype, just played completely straight.
She's also like insanely like very like, oh my god, the Manger Babies episode is really good for her.
There's the episode where she says that Peggy's like mean and nobody likes her, and Peggy's like, "I can hear you, you know." "Oh, you didn't hear that? I was thinking, oh my god, you can read thoughts."
There's one of my favorite. Cotton Hill has some really good jokes as well. One of my favorites is Ale like introduces Cotton to Khan, and he's like, yeah, he's Japanese or Korean or whatever, and Cotton walks up to him, looks him up and down, and goes, "Nah, he's not. He's Laotian, ain't you?" And then walks away.
Yeah, like he's like super like sensitive about it, and then he turns into a fucking bigot like immediately. He's like, "Yeah, he's Laotian, ain't you, boy?"
Yeah, like
he doesn't say boy, but like just the tone of "ain't you" like is like it's like the tone of it.
It's also Texas, like, so that southern accent that you're trying to do, like the boy just comes out.
Yeah.
It's just so like. There's layers to that joke though, because it's like the military did do something during World War II where they would train soldiers to identify these people are Japanese, these are Korean, these are the Japanese, these are what they look like, and it was always like very racist like depictions. And
honestly, it was probably just a chart of like how eyes are angled. Like honestly,
like
it probably was.
Like, it was very racist, but the fact that he looks at Khan and goes, "He's Laotian, ain't ya, boy?" Like, it shows that Cotton has definitely killed people.
He's intelligent, but he's still a racist.
One of my favorite King of the Hill moments is, like, Cotton Hill is a piece of shit. Biggest piece of shit in that entire show. Well, maybe Buck Strickland. But it's the episode where he dies, and he only dies out of a spite. Because Peggy, like, tells him off. He's like, you know, your son is a good man, blah, blah, blah. And, like, you know what, Cotton? I hope you keep living. I hope you keep living with all that hatred in your heart. And, like, Cotton goes, you know what I gotta say to that? And he flatlines.
Which, like, for me...
Power
like,
move.
It's funny, but also at the same time, I think, like, writing-wise, they got rid of Cotton Hill at, like, the right time. Because they told, like, enough stories with him to where, like, they maybe had 5 or 6 more good stories to tell with him, but like at that point, why? You know, like he's already done his job as a character, so like I think they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, there's a really good episode with him and Jimmy Carter and Hank as well. It's I think the episode is called Me, My Dad, and JC.
Oh yeah, because Bobby Hill thinks the Jimmy Carter was Jesus Christ, because he only had like JC on his like name badge or something.
Yeah, and even still, Cotton Hill isn't like a super big piece of shit, because when it comes to Bobby, like there's that episode where Bobby burns down a church, and Cotton takes the rap for, because I think it's Bobby shits so hard in the church bathroom it stinks so bad, and he feels really bad about it, so he tries to light a match or whatever.
Oh man!
And he ends up burning the church down, and so Cotton takes the blame for Bobby because he's like, oh, Bobby's just a boy, like they'll fuck him up in jail or whatever. He can't do that. I did it, and his punishment is that he has to hug everyone at the church and say sorry.
I also
which, you know,
like
for anyone who isn't Cotton Hill isn't a bad, you know, like that's a slap on the wrist. For Cotton Hill, he'd prefer jail.
Also, side note, before we get too far away from it, happy late 99th birthday, Jimmy Carter. Actually still alive. Pretty cool.
Dude is
that was a couple days ago.
Bound to a wheelchair. Oh, you know what we should do? We should get like a bunch of people who are in wheelchairs and like build like real life Hot Wheels tracks and have them.
I know the perfect song to back it to.
We hear unintentionally offensive. Do not condone violence towards the handicapped. We do, however, find it hilarious. Team 4-Star reference for anyone out there listening that knows what I'm talking about.
And any of you people that say we shouldn't be laughing at this, it's only going to make us laugh harder.
Yeah.
After all, Matt wouldn't stand for us to not make these jokes.
Especially now that I'm thinking of... Especially now that I'm thinking about a wheelchair-bound, elderly, like 80-year-old woman doing like 3 loop-de-loops while it's playing Wheelchair Sam.
But
that is hilarious,
right?
But side note, Andrew, I'm talking about that Matt, like the guy we used to work with.
Yeah, no. I was actually going to bring up a story that involved him.
Yeah, let's just talk about him so that people aren't super confused.
All right.
Send him this episode of the podcast. Be like, hey, look.
I'm not actually in... Well, no, I do have him on Facebook. I just don't post anything on Facebook.
Same.
I lurk. So no. He's been wheelchair bound for all of his life, if not or most of it. I'm not sure which one. I've asked him, and he was very open about it. Like, I asked him respectfully. I didn't just be like, why don't your legs work?
Yeah, whoa, those wheels are cool. How'd you get them, bro?
Like, I probably could have asked him like that, and he would have just laughed, because he was super cool.
All Woody Pie about it.
Walked up to him with a hammer and started tapping his legs like, I'm Handy Mandy, I can fix it.
Like one day, the bigwigs were walking around like telling all the changes that were gonna happen, and he just like looks him in the eye and is like, you know, I'm not gonna stand for that, right? And he just gets a big goofy grin on his face, and the 2 managers that were talking to him are just like wide-eyed, don't know what to say. It's like, if we laugh, we're the bad people here, but he said it and he's laughing, so what do we do? But he was always super...
Don't laugh, you're a dick.
Right. It's a catch-22 situation. But he was always like that. He was always very lighthearted, I guess would be... Would that be a good term?
I mean, to be fair...
It's not spiteful that his legs don't work. He's come to terms with it. It's like how I make dads about... I was going to say how I make dads about my dead. It's how I make jokes about my dead dad, right?
Yeah. So...
It's not like a spiteful thing. It's just like, yeah, I mean, fuck. Like,
so, there's one time I made a break room full of about There were probably about 20 people in it. What's that?
There's a big. Sorry, I'm almost
Fat slut.
But break room full of about 20 people. I'm in there eating lunch, and he's sat across from me. Him and I were just kind of chilling in the break room, and my ex-girlfriend, who had recently cheated on me, walks in with her boyfriend, her new boyfriend, who she cheated on me with, wrapped around her arm, and she literally brought him in there to rub it in my face. So rather than, well, to attempt to not make a scene, I get up and I leave. As I do this, I end up like kicking the table and kind of tripping. And Matt looks at me and is like, "What's the matter? Is this your first day walking?" And I, without thinking, just turned to him and was like, "At least I can walk." And then I just marched out of the break room. And Hugh had this big, goofy grin on his face because he thought it was funny. Everybody else was just staring at me like, "I can't believe you said that."
Everyone else was doing their best impression of a white woman and being offended for somebody else that, like, isn't hurt.
To be fair though, the way I said it was like very spiteful.
Yeah. Well, it
Because
reminds me of
like I was trying to get out there without making a scene, and yeah, like I tripped, he made it worse, so I was mad. So I said something mean. I was actually mad, and I said something mean to him. But like, he thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Everybody else in the break room acted like I just kicked a baby.
To be fair, like, if you haven't kicked a baby, what are you doing with your life?
Well, for unrelated reasons, I'm not allowed within, what is it, like 500 feet of a baby?
Don't fuck kids, especially
I said an
babies.
unrelated reason.
Man.
Well, we were talking about kicking babies, and you said unrelated, so unrelated to kicking
Yeah,
babies.
like...
You're not allowed around. That implies you
And then
baby.
Andrew
It's a joke, people.
Andrew's supposed to be the joke god and be like, well, I wasn't kicking him with my third leg.
Is you know the rapper DaBaby? Is that pedophilia to fuck that guy?
It's just dumb to fuck that guy.
I feel intelligent for not knowing who this person is.
It's the. Have you not seen that? Oh, you probably haven't. It's the thing where everyone was going, "Let's go," like for like a month straight.
That sounds like a stupid meme, and I do not subscribe to stupid memes. Except every fucking meme that exists.
I don't intentionally like see these memes, but I like, because of the generation that I am in, I am forced to like. It's hard, like. Memes today, I will put on like, oh, let me put on like, oh, try not to laugh, like, funny meme compilation for like 30 minutes, and it's like, I'll put that on as like background noise, and occasionally I'll tune into it. And
we're never doing one of those, by the way.
Oh, never.
Like, unless you want face cam of somebody like stone cold staring at a fucking webcam like for the entire time, because like.
I'm putting my foot down on that. We're never doing one of those because, listen, like, if you have to show other people's content to get views, like, and then, like, the whole concept of you can't laugh, like, that's such a little childish thing.
Such a
like,
dumb gimmick, yeah.
Yeah, like, I
like,
put my foot down. We're not doing that.
I don't try not to laugh at them. I just happen to not laugh at them most of the time. Like,
we're not doing that unless there's something good to be done with it. Like, if we come up with a good spin on it, then I'd be open to it.
Every time you don't laugh, take a shot of Jaeger bomb.
Why are you obsessed with Jaeger bomb? It's like the worst fucking thing.
You only say that because you drink too much of it. But like,
it tastes like black licorice and horse piss.
You drink too much of it.
Well,
it starts tasting like candy after that.
You can't tell me that you can't tell me that Jaeger does not taste like black licorice, because it
It
does.
does taste like black
But
licorice.
the horse piss part of it was referring to the Red Bull, because he said
Yeah,
Jaeger bomb.
But I would be willing to do like a meme stream where we're like laughing and having a good time and or drinking, but like I'm not doing any stupid fucking gimmicks with it. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
because this
I think
cringe.
the only gimmick thing I would do if it involved alcohol, or, well, let's just say alcohol, would be like some creative game, like, say, like Minecraft, or one of those like millions of survival things where you literally just build stuff and survive. Because I think, one, with the two of us who are legal age to drink got drunk, we could make some interesting things.
If you got drunk, would I have to worry about being fondled?
Considering you're not in the same room with me, yes.
I don't fuck children. Don't
Wait,
worry
what?
about it. Yeah. Don't fuck children. You don't gotta worry about
The following is a joke, but I will get drunk and I will drunk drive to your house and I will fondle you.
I like to imagine it's not even drunk driving. I like to imagine it's just like, hey, Caden, turn on your webcam, and like I do it for the video, and like you're just stood behind me, shit faced. You're like, peekaboo.
I just fucking Nightcrawler bamf back to your fucking apartment.
For those of you who need all of our jokes explained, and it does make every joke funnier every time, for sure, every single time.
Exactly.
And I said I don't fuck kids when Caden asked about being fondled. I was calling him a child, viewers. You're welcome. I'll explain all my jokes so that you can get them and you can be in on it.
The joke is funny because I'm not actually a child, legally.
Just mentally.
That is what makes the joke funny. It is subversion, viewer. Do you know what subversion is? Can you say subversion?
Subversion's what I do to your mother.
Subversion? I do submersion on your mother.
Isn't subversion like what I was before I got laid?
Yes.
Well, it depends. Were you a subversion or were you a dom virgin?
I was a submarine virgin, like underwater and shooting missiles.
Which instance are we talking about here? Because there's one I will not talk about on the podcast.
I don't know what you're referring to.
You guys ever drank your own piss?
Nope.
So when I was little, I saw Bear Grylls do it, and I went, that looks fucking cool.
Bear Grylls is
And I
a
drank mine.
loser. I'm sorry I had to. Because I think legitimately Bear Grylls is a fucking loser.
Well, he doesn't do all that survival shit. He's like, alright guys, I'm gonna show you how to do this. And he like builds the tent, and then he goes and like jerks off in a
Bear
hotel
Grylls
room.
is the Jeff Corwin of like surviving in the wild. Fucking, and if you don't get what I mean, Jeff Corwin was this guy who like did shows when Steve Irwin was doing shows about animals, but
I love Steve Irwin. God
yeah,
bless his
but
soul.
it
Rest
was
in peace.
It was Diet Steve Irwin, and that like Bear Grylls is that, but in like the Survivor aspect.
No, back to what you were saying about try not to laugh. I had something I was gonna say. The only like time that I think that would actually be feasibly like okay is Hey Money Wubby does this thing called media share, where basically people donate money to play videos.
Media share's fine.
Yeah, media share's badass.
If we're doing a live stream, I want to do media share.
I would love to
I want to
media
do
share.
that, and I want to. I would also be totally fine with a like a movie or video game live stream where we are playing a drinking game with the audience. I'm totally cool with those things.
Yeah, like I'd love to do that shit.
But I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that like submissive gay boy shit. And I'm sorry, there's just no other term for it. Of we're gonna watch other people's memes and we're gonna try not to laugh. Like it's the most fucking cringe virgin.
Yeah,
shit.
I just won't do it because half those videos aren't fucking funny to begin with.
Yeah, and it's just a poor concept.
My problem with memes nowadays is like the meme like half the time is like, haha, so random, isn't that funny? It's like, no.
Oh God! Speaking of like the issue that Eric has with them, like I keep seeing these things pop up on my Facebook feed where it's literally just like it's like a TikTok in the background, not the person's like original video, and then it's just some guy on like webcam green screen just pointing at it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
It's like
people are really desperate to make poor content.
yeah, because they see that the original content makes them bank, so they just copy what's there.
The only time
Yeah.
I like those like videos that like are like TikTok videos are the ones where it's subversive and it's like this person is like they're not doing the joke for doing the joke, they're doing it to make fun of it. Like this guy I watched, Russian Badger, he was making fun of the new trend that people do where like they say some dumb shit and then like play I forget what the music was fucking called. They called it something really fucking dumb.
I found John
like-
St. John.
It was like called Stronk or like Bonk or Fonk. It's Fonk.
Fonk
is what it's.
Yes.
Fonk. Yeah. Like they'll just be like, I don't believe women should have rights. Boom, 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 as it's like showing like different like poses of them.
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah.
Remember how we talked about wanting to fuck video game characters?
Is Big the Cat the first one you've wanted to fuck?
Specifically because John St. John does bring that sexual fucking energy.
But I think Fonk.
That's a joke, by the way. I'm not gay and I don't want to fuck a cat.
Anyway, I think Fonk is such a stupid meme because like, you know, I get the ordeal of like, oh, let me say like the first like most messed up, dumbest thing that comes to mind, and then like, you know, like here's Fonk while I do poses. It's like, yeah, I could see the potential in it being funny, but it's just always the same shit. Like, oh, I don't believe in human rights. I don't believe in these rights. I don't like. It's the same joke every time. It's never like actually shit opinions. Well, it's intentionally meant to be the worst opinion you think of, and it's like I think it'd be funnier if it was like, yeah, I didn't really like the movie Blade Runner, like because it's like such an inconsequential thing, right?
Right.
Like that's funnier than like, I don't believe insert group of like oppressed people.
Insert
should have
minority
rights.
here.
Yeah, insert like minority here. Insert religion here. Insert something here. Like should have rights. And it's like
Insert penis here.
Hey, you watched a lot of Adult Swim. Did you ever see a show? You might be too young for this because the show didn't air very many times or very long. It was a show called Minority.
I remember that. I don't remember any episode of it. I just remember the concept.
Did you ever watch Minority, Caden?
I'm going to look it up right now and see if I recognize it at all.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
I mean, I know what it sounds like, but I'm saying like I'm trying to.
It advertises as exactly what it is.
Let's make a racial stereotype Justice League. It is exactly what that show is.
That is Dr. Professor Neo Cortex from Crash Bandicoot in a wheelchair.
Kind of, yeah.
I have not seen this, no.
It's a show that Adult Swim, like, refuses to talk about now.
I wonder why.
I wonder why, yeah. I watched a lot of Adult Swim as a kid, but, like, I never got past, like, Boondocks stopped airing at, like, what, 1 in the morning? Like, because it would always, like, Boondocks was 12 to 12:30. And then there was something after Boondocks.
I didn't watch enough Adult Swim to know what the schedule was.
I remember the schedule from years ago, my God.
It's been a long time since I watched, like, that much Adult Swim.
Yeah. Clearly, if I'm not
It gets weirder. That's the rule of thumb. It gets weirder as the night goes on.
If I'm not remembering what came... in fact, I think what came after Boondocks was random, like, every night. Like, sometimes it would be Super Jail, sometimes it would be, like, some of the other wackier shows. So, roughly at 1 in the morning is when I would drop off. So I'm assuming, well, plus Minority, 2005 to 2006. So, like, I was still watching the movie Cars. I wasn't cognitive at that point. I didn't, like, turn on until I was, like, 3.
I watched
No,
Cars.
like,
Cars
I worked
came out
on
when I was
Cars.
11. I was the fucking demographic for Cars.
Funnily enough, I just talked about this today. My earliest memory, right? Like, you know, like when you're a kid, like the first moment you click and you're like, oh, I'm human. I exist.
Yeah.
I can, like, my first memory was I'm sat on a fucking couch watching some TV programs with my mother, and then a knock on the door, and some lady gives me a poster. Some lady that my mom knew gives me a poster, and it's like all the Cars movie characters on the poster, and like, I don't know, it still baffles me to this day how I understood everything on that poster. Being like, oh, that's Tomater, that's Sally, that's Lightning McQueen, that's Luigi, that's the Fillmore, like, because that was my
No
first
more
time
my
ever.
dick in your mouth. Oh.
You know,
That was
I
my-
wish my first cognitive experience was pleasant.
Yeah, instead it was burning your hand.
Yeah, because I was a stupid kid.
I know the
But-
first movie I saw in theaters was Road to El Dorado that I remember. Which
That was
banger
not
of a fucking
appropriate for
movie.
kids.
Banger of a fucking movie. And,
Great fucking movie, though.
And yeah, like, I'll say this. I think that movie rides the perfect balance of it is for kids, but it's got so much adult stuff going on in the background that it's not boring for parents to watch. Because, like,
I would say it is
I was
not for
gonna
kids,
animate-
but if you're a kid
No.
watching it, you're not gonna understand the stuff that's not for kids anyways.
like,
Yeah.
my thing is, like, as an animator, like,
Because there is
I'm not
pretty
I'm
much a
not
sex
an
scene in that
animator.
movie.
Well, they get high too, and they're also enslaved. Oh,
What's
man, I
wrong
remember
with that?
Being like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's definitely not controversial topics because people were enslaved.
I'm gonna title this episode the
terrible.
slavery episode.
The slavery
So-
episode.
Because we talked about Detroit becoming human
Again.
being an analogy for it.
Again, like, I love Detroit Become Human, but it is super weighed down by, like, there's no, like, subversive...
There's no subtlety.
Yeah, there's no subversiveness to it. There's no subtlety. It's just, yeah, this is a one-to-one allegory for
I
slavery.
don't need a video game to tell me that slavery was bad.
Yeah,
I'm a
if you
human
need the
being.
video
I know
game-
it was bad.
If you need a video game to tell you slavery is wrong, either A, you're a very, very young child, or B, like, you probably
You're an
aren't a
idiot.
good person.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you're an idiot.
I
That
like to
reminds
imagine,
me of another video game, but
I like to imagine the Ku Klux Klan member playing Detroit Become Human for the first time, and then, like, you know, he pauses the game halfway through and goes. He looks to his closet and all of his Ku Klux Klan garb, and he walks up to the closet and he sets fire to it and goes, "No more, no more."
No
'Cause
more.
He's so ashamed. Yeah.
And then Alice Cooper comes out and he sings, "No more, Mr. Black Guy." No.
Maybe no more Mr. Racist Guy because he stopped being a racist.
But look, I know that that's like the point, but no more Mr. Black Guy like fit in the. It fit the rhythm of no more Mr. Nice Guy better.
In fact, no, he comes out, he does that, and then the racist guy, the
Racist
ex-racist
guy's
guy
like,
turns
"No."
and punches him.
I only want Black Guy.
Yeah, he goes, "No, yes, more, Mr. Black Guy," and like, you know, the next thing.
no
next to him
more
at his-
burning crosses.
There we go. There it is.
The T.
There it is.
See, that is not a cross. It is a T.
It is a
Yeah.
lowercase t.
Tolerance.
We have rounded out that joke, and we have gone as far as we can go without sounding racist.
That is a T for team, because you and I we're on a team. And then I think after that, the black cop says, "Get the fuck back before I shoot you," to that guy, because the guy starts stepping closer. I don't remember that Reno 911, but past That's a T for tolerance, because I have not watched a lot of Reno 911. I've watched clips online, and that's all
Right.
I know.
I think that's a good stopping point for tonight.
Yeah. I think we had a good episode.
So yeah, ending the episode on "Don't be racist." It's bad,
Oh,
okay?
yeah, listen. All right, listen, kiddies. Listen, children. Gather around, and listen. If you think that you're better than someone because your skin color is different, you're a fucking idiot.
Even if you're right.
And when you're an adult, I hope nobody fucks you.
Now, here's the thing, right? If you think you're better than someone, you better have a good damn reason for it. Oh, I think I'm better than this guy. Why? Well, because I'm white and he's... Nope. Immediate race, no. Oh, well, I think I'm better than this guy. Why do you think that? Well, he beat his wife. You are better than that guy. Because you don't beat your wife.
My dick's bigger than his?
That's an objective better thing. Like, that's objectively, yeah. It depends. Like, some girls like...
Is your girl a
penis
size
alert.
queen?
Small penis alert.
You don't have to call me out like that, Eric.
Look,
the internet doesn't need to know.
I was just letting the internet know that we all have small penises.
Listen, what I lack in dick size, I have in ego.
Oh fuck! I don't have either.
I am very glad that my big fat dick carried me all the way through sex until I actually got good at sex. Thank you, big fat dick, for carrying me until I learned.
My favorite, Eric, they made that meme about you. The Attack on Titan. I wish I had freedom instead of this massive cock. We should probably wrap up now.
Freedom.
Okay.
Freedom. Mel Gibson doesn't like certain people because he's racist.
Okay. This has been unintentionally offensive.
I think we've actually been offensive today.
I think this was a good episode.
I think it was too.
I don't think we didn't intend to be offensive.
That's the point of our fucking show.
I know, right? Exactly. It's perfect. How should we sign off?
Maybe this is going to be our pilot episode, even though we've already released episodes before this.
This is the pilot. This is.
Look! It shows we're improving. Anyway,
I'm still playing Sonic.
Oh wait, I should probably do that. All right, this has been unintentionally offensive.
Today we've actually been offensive.
We've been successful for once.
We've been very successful. We're always successful. Sometimes in my restless dreams, I still see this podcast.
Good night.